And welcome to the show. How are you doing, Diabolical Souls?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine, and right now we're gonna discuss uh, the very first Tarantino movie he directed, Reservoir Dogs. So
Yeah.
yeah, so what was your experience with this movie when you first? When did you
I
first come about it?
I remember watching this movie and it was like 94. And I remember telling my friends at the time, I'm like, dude, you have to check out this movie. It's phenomenal. It's heavy dialogue, heavy action. It's very intense. There's some hilarious scenes in it, which I don't want to say too much because we're going to get into it. But and the soundtrack is awesome. I love the soundtrack. That was like the one thing I loved the most about the movie is great soundtrack. And yeah, I just remember recommending it to my buddies, and no one knew anything. Like I had no idea who Quentin Tarantino was. I didn't know who about this movie. Like it was only out for like selected theaters too. It was in and out of theaters real quick. And yeah. And then I remember I wanted to buy this movie and it was like really expensive to buy this movie. So yeah, that was my experience
Yep.
with it back in '94. So
Yeah, I think the first time I might have come by seeing the clip with, I think it was on Simpsons, where they were spoofing it, weren't they, with Itchy and Scratchy, and Tarantino comes on, and then one of them cuts his head off, don't they? And the fucking the Flanders are going all pale with white because they've just seen so much blood, and there's like, "Daddy, what's that coming out of Kitty's ear?" And it's
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
cranberry sauce, yeah. And I think after I saw Pulp Fiction as well, and I was like, "Oh, I need to check out Reservoir Dogs, see what that's like." And I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a big fan of it because it's like all the talking scenes in Pulp Fiction, which I did like, were turned up to 11 and there was barely any action. But somehow over the years, I ended up watching it more and more and more, and I ended up loving it. I ended up loving
Oh
it.
yeah. I have to apologize. It was '92. It was '94 was Pulp Fiction, right? I think it was '94 was Pulp Fiction. Yeah,
94 was Pulp Fiction because
yeah,
this came out in
'92.
92.
Yeah,
This came out in 92.
yeah. But I remember like it was in theaters and then it came back out and like it was gone and then it came back out. So I remember it was like one of those movies that was bouncing around a lot. Um,
Yeah. And it's a weird film because it's about a robbery, but you never see the robbery at all.
no, no,
No,
not at all.
it's just
It's
them.
yeah, it's just them talking about it, and you don't know who's telling the truth, and that's the thing about it. It's great.
And just getting the slides up now. Give me a second and see if I
Yeah,
can put it up on here.
yeah. I remember the summer that I saw this, and I fell in love with the movie right away. It was just one of those movies that, and then I think that this movie kicked off a bunch of movies that started doing the similar thing with like you started seeing like Unusual Suspects, you started seeing um like Seven and all these kind of gritty movies that were coming out right after. It was just that early '90s that had great movies.
I know, and it was pretty much a good time for independent filmmakers as well because you had
Hmm.
Kevin Smith coming out, and yeah, despite him kind of really going downhill since She Man from that fucking came out, it's but but like Tarantino, he was another guy who had really great sharp dialogue where people were just mostly talking about mundane things, and it never seemed to hold up the plot. You wanted to listen to these people talk about, stuff they saw on TV or some stuff that happened to this person or that person, yada yada yada. And it seemed to be a good time for dialogue-driven movies.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this was coming off like the 80s that had, which was like the big decade for action movies, and
yeah,
now we're getting a good decade with people just talking, and yeah, it's not boring. You like these characters; they feel real, they feel very grounded, and you want to hang out with these people too.
yeah. And the funny thing about Tarantino's movies, like that restaurant is used in like almost like every movie that he did in the '90s. Um, it's pretty funny. This scene's great.
It
Um,
is. It starts off. What the
yeah,
first line is like? It's all about a girl with a guy with a big dick. That's the opening. That's the opening line. It's an
Yeah.
instant laugh. It's like, wait, what? It's like, that's how you're starting your fucking film off. Some big dicks.
But yeah, well, yeah, they're talking about True Blue and the difference between True Blue and Like a Virgin,
Yeah,
and and Mr. Pink is telling, or no, it's actually Quentin Tarantino, Mr. Brown,
yeah,
is
Mr.
telling the
Brown. Yeah,
difference. Yeah, he's telling the difference between the two movies, and how the one, like True Blue, is about a girl wanting getting her boyfriend back, and feeling kind of, down and somber, and he comes back to like a sensitive song, and then Like a Virgin is like he talks about,
yeah.
she's like banging all these guys and it's dick,
Yeah.
dick, 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 and he goes, that's a lot of dick, and
Yeah,
then
I know.
and then he gets in, and then she meets his John Holmes motherfucker, and then and she's like, she's feeling this pain,
Yeah,
and she's like, it's like,
pain.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not funny in a way that these are comedy characters. These are funny in a way that these are real people. It sounds genuine. It sounds like something a real person would say. That happens to be very funny.
Yeah.
And I think Albert Brooks was saying that about his character in Taxi Driver. Like, that guy is not funny like a comedian. That guy is funny like a guy who's just going to work and trying to live his life and trying to make a living, and that's it. And I think that's where the best laughs come from, where the characters don't know they're in the joke. And Tarantino's obviously a fan of Elmore Leonard. He's referenced it a few times, and if you read those books, his characters are very much not in the joke. They're very funny, but the stories are very grounded and dark and darkly funny at the same time. And Tarantino is obviously putting his version of those stories into his films in a way that's also
Mm-hmm.
his. And I do love Mr. Pinky. I think Steve Buscemi, he's always fucking good. I don't think I've ever seen him in a bad performance. He always gives 100%. I love him.
Yeah. And I think this is Tim Roth's first movie. I don't.
It's
could be
probably
wrong.
his first American movie, because he's been in the 80s.
Okay.
He was in a lot of dramas as well, and there's a real good one called Made in Britain, about a really young angry skinhead who's just doomed to fucking be a repeat offender for the rest of his life. And it's very bleak but very well done. And
Yeah.
and Tim
No, go
Roth,
ahead.
let's see if we can get an image of Tim Roth somewhere. Where is he? We're skipping back. You know what? I'll get back to him soon.
Yeah.
But then we've also got Lawrence Tierney here, who's
Joe.
yeah,
Toby Wong. Toby
yeah,
Chu. Toby Wong.
yeah. He's just fucking reading these random names out of his book, and and he's a fucking nutcase in real life, this Lawrence Tierney, from what I've heard from people who worked
Yeah.
with him. Yeah, he called
Well,
Bill
he
Wheaton.
was
Yeah,
he was in Seinfeld. He was
yeah.
originally
Elaine's dad.
yeah, and they were
Was-
scared of him in that episode. So it's kind of fitting.
It's just something about me. George Costanza singing that dumb song, and he's like, "This ain't fucking Hello Shirley." Oh Christ, man!
Yeah.
He was apparently he's a scary guy in real life. Yeah, he would fucking have these like really proper outbursts, and Tarantino would get into fucking fights with him and everything. And he had fights with the crew, all sorts. He even called, I think he called Will Wheaton a sissy faggot on Star Trek once and all.
That's great.
Well, I've got a clip of Quentin Tarantino talking about him. It's very funny. See if we can get it on.
I loved Lawrence. I just really loved him. He was wonderful. But he was completely a directorial, school by fire. Even like Harvey Keitel, Quentin, I've made a lot of movies, and I've never dealt with a crazy motherfucker like Lawrence. Tim wouldn't even act with him in the same room. I don't want that fat fuck in the goddamn room when I'm acting. It's usually even funnier when, like, you get a Steve Buscemi or you get a Michael Madsen telling the story. It was the last 20 minutes of the last day of shooting of the first week. He didn't like my dialogue. He had a hard time remembering it. And it was, it's fucking shit, too fucking convoluted.
Somebody comes up with the finally, so fucking I fuck up. I fucked up. I'll keep going. Stop.
I'm just saying it's so fucking repetitive. I'm just saying the same thing over again. You know, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
You don't say anything about you. Anything but you. I'm up. It's because it's so fucking repetitive.
Man, I don't want to say that joke you give me. That fucking dirty joke. It's disgusting.
Oh, you guys like to tell jokes and giggle and kid around, huh? Giggling like a bunch of young bros in a schoolyard. Well, let me tell a joke. There was no good fucking.
Let's do one more time. He also had this thing where you'd be trying to talk to him. Okay, so Lawrence, and then all of a sudden he would just start walking away. All right, right in the middle of your talking. All right, not like fuck you. You know, he just started going like you're supposed to be trailing after him, and so the Lawrence. And again, last 20 minutes, very important part of the story. And I grab him by the arm and go, Lawrence, stay here. And he shoves me. And he's just like, get your fucking hands off me. All right. I'm like, this fucker gonna touch me in my set? Fuck him. Get your fucking hands on me, kid. I go, fuck you, you fat fuck. You're fucking fired. Take your fat fucking ass off my fucking set. I, boom, storm off the set this way. Lawrence, boom, storms up the set that way. The crew breaks out into applause. They brought us together, and then it's like, we see each other, and we both kind of calm down a little bit now. It's like 20 minutes later. I'm sorry. Oh, no, kid, I'm sorry. You know, and it was just really nice and everything. And then he did this again, it was like, it was his schizophrenic nature. Now he was really sweet. Then he was just like, so kid, how about this? You know, we're all gonna go out, you know, me and the whole crew, we're all gonna go out and drink and have a good time. He goes, kid, how about you? Me and you, we're gonna go out and we're gonna drink and we'll put this all behind us, you know? And I go, no, yeah, I just really feel like going out and drinking with my turn.
I believe it. I totally believe
I know.
everything you say.
There's a real good one where there's a good one where the other stars are talking about him, and Chris Penn one is really fucking funny. This guy was just he must have been a fucking laugh, but at the same time a total nightmare. He was like, there was something about videotapes. Chris Penn was like, listen, you don't have to bother with the videotapes. He was like, nah, I go get them anyway. So apparently he's up there looking for the videotapes, brings them down. Chris Penn's like, you know, you don't have to, I told you I don't need to I don't need the videotapes. It's like, what the fuck you made me go up there and get them for? It's crazy. I would have had the clip, but it goes on for like 14 minutes, and I don't want to just drag the whole thing over. But we'll get on. We're gonna get back onto the movie now. But Christ, man, I just love these old school stars that just did not give a fuck.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and I gotta give praise to Tarantino for handling himself, because he's kind of this dweeby guy, but I don't know. I've seen a couple of clips where some reporters were harassing him, and he can get fucking aggressive when he's pushed. So I'll give some fucking credit to him there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's kind of a weird cat himself. So like like Tarantino started off like in a movie, like he was just writing scripts in a movie rental place. That's where he's working.
Yeah, did. Yeah, I think he worked as an usher in a cinema as well, because he still has a chance to see movies for free. But I think the experience left him a little bit cold as well, because you still got to do your job. And I've never worked in a cinema. I've always kind of wanted to, but I never really got that chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but do you think if you're working in a cinema, you're probably not seeing the movies for free? You're probably seeing little snippets, and that's it, just to, when you're walking in the room, checking everything's all right. But
yeah,
back onto the movie. Yeah, Lawrence Tenny's just reading this fucking book out of random, and Mr. Brown's just fucking talking over him, talking about Madonna's big dick again. It's that sometimes happens though when you get a crowd of people in a bar. They'll be talking about something, but then you get another couple of people in that crowd sort of going off tail and talking to each other about something else. And you always get someone losing their track of mind.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen all these. Yeah. I can tell Tarantino though, he's still a weird looking fucker, even when he was young. But I don't buy him as Mr. Brown, even though I don't buy him as a badass or a criminal. But he's the getaway driver. He doesn't really have to do anything excessive except for be in the car and help him get away.
Yeah, and it was obvious that he was just the getaway guy. And
So it's good
Harvey
on
Keitel.
yeah.
Yeah, Harvey Keitel, man. Oh.
Harvey yeah, I think this I think the 90s might have been his fucking decade because he did some good stuff in the 70s, but he always seemed to get overshadowed by Robert De Niro and Al Pacino and all that. And it's a shame because he is really fucking good. Yeah.
Well,
And
he was that one movie he did, Bad Lieutenant. Oof.
that was great. It's been a long time though. It's a very slow movie, but it is fucking good. Yeah. What do you think of the Nicolas Cage version
of Bad Lieutenant?
Yeah,
it doesn't even compare. Harvey Keitel is.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Nicolas Cage, but
yeah,
Harvey Keitel's version, I from him, like with doing Mean Streets with De Niro, I've always liked Keitel. Like, and then seeing him in Pulp Fiction as the wolf, that was great.
Yeah, Tarantino must really love Keitel because he's had him a lot of times. He's actually got a bit of an uncredited guest appearance on Inglourious Bastards, but
really,
yeah, and I think it's right when Christoph Waltz is talking to the Americans about doing a deal where he, right at the end. So yeah. And yeah, he's been in a few in the 2000s as well. I keep forgetting he was in National Treasure with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
But I like how he talks back a little bit to Joe. Joe's probably his boss, but they seem to be more like friends, don't they? And he's getting a bit fed up of him reading these fucking names out. He's like he's already listening to Madonna's Big Dick. Now he's got him going, hey, Toby Chu, who the fuck is Toby Wang?
Yeah, it's driving nuts. He takes the book, and then Joe's just like, "Give me my book back." No, it's mine.
He's like a grumpy old granddad, isn't he? Who's had something valuable taken off him, and he's being a bit childish.
And this is the beginning. Like
I know.
To it in the beginning, you're like listening to everything happening, and we still haven't even got to the Buscemi part. So like you're invested in this, listening to them just talk about Madonna, and then to Harvey Keitel taking Joe's book, like putting him on full blast, because at this point you don't know who the actual leader of the gang is, because you're thinking it's Harvey Keitel, because he just takes the book from Joe. He's like, no,
I know he's got a good presence, hasn't he? And he's obviously a criminal who's been done that, and you wouldn't think they were robbing a fucking jewelry store here. I mean, they just look like two guys off to work, and that's it. The suits and ties, and they all look slick, everything. And he's like, top of the jab, I don't know, coming up my right ear, Madonna's fucking big dick coming out my left. And
you're gonna put that away?
He's like, I'll do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
Keep this. But you still see there's some respect towards them as well. And look, there's Eddie Bunker there as well, who was a real life fucking criminal.
Yeah.
And apparently he has had some history with Lawrence Tierney. Apparently in the 50s he caught him. I think he caught Lawrence Tierney having a fight with him outside some bar. But years later, this was like, and it wasn't until this movie they got reunited. But Lawrence Tierney did not remember him at all. It's a crazy thing. Eddie Bunker, though, yeah, I need to read his stuff because the guy is like a former criminal and author, and he seems like a fascinating character. I've watched an interview with him as well. He's a pretty funny guy.
Yeah, during the movie, he doesn't say. I think he says maybe 3 lines throughout the whole movie, if that. And you're like, this guy, like you want to know more about this guy, and that's it. It's all you get, and you're just like, oh,
I know. I think that might be my one gripe. We don't get to see enough of Eddie Bunker because he seems like he is a very fascinating character.
Yeah.
And then we get Michael Madsen on the left called Mr. Blonde, and I love that. Just looking at Eddie Bunker is based. Great book, and is that the name of the book? Toxic. So we'll look. See if we can get. Here we go. Whoops, wrong one. Depending on what kind of theatre you work in. Oh yeah, that's just my response to earlier. Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, where is it? There we go.
Eddie Bunker is based. Great book.
Yeah, and yeah, he's right about that because all the other guys are in the suits, and it's obviously Eddie and Joe are the ones that are in charge because they aren't doing the job. They've worked it out. They've organised everything. But at the same time, they don't come across like people who just sit in the sidelines and let the other people do the hard work. They do seem to have a good respect for the men that they've brought together to do this job. They definitely wanted to choose men that they trust and not just. And I like Michael Madsen here as well. He's just got this fucking natural coolness to him, though. He always looks like he doesn't care. He always looks like
he's kind of got in this movie, he had that like early Harrison Ford kind of cocky attitude that like it's just like he just has the look, the certain mannerisms, like because Harrison Ford did that in like Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back and Raiders of the Lost Ark. He was just like has that same aura about him, and it's just too bad that he never made it any further like this. I think this and a couple other Tarantino movies, but he hasn't really. He's had battles with a lot of issues, but
yeah, a lot did as well because we was talking about like Tom Sizemore in Heat, and he was another. Yeah, and he's very similar to Michael Madsen in a way as well. There's this natural coolness to him, and they don't look like other movie stars. They seem like someone you could have a beer with in a dive bar somewhere. And he looks like someone who'd be right at home in a dive bar and not care, and you kind of love him for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we'll look what Toxic. He couldn't do much in this film because he's a federal felon and couldn't handle a weapon. Eddie Bunker.
Oh.
So he can't even handle a fake weapon either. That's pretty fucked up. Yeah. Education of a felon. I need to, I'll put it on my list because I like reading about this stuff.
I knew he was a felon, but I mean, and I knew he had a past, but Tarantino wanted him in the film.
Because he looks the part. He don't look like an actor trying to play a criminal. No, he's been there. You can see it on his face. He's done time as well. Sometimes you look at someone and you know that they've been through a lot.
I want to say there's a story to this, like Tarantino bumped into him somewhere. I want to say at the video rental place. That's what I want to say, but
that'll be amazing, though, because I think was Eddie Bunker like LA as well, living in LA at the time.
Probably.
Yeah.
Chris Penn, man, this was a phenomenal role for him.
Well, am I getting feedback on here?
You're getting feedback?
I don't know. It's saying I'm getting feedback here. I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing it. I have no idea what's happening. Oh.
I don't hear anything.
So what's up? No one else is anyway.
Mobile phone.
Yeah, mobile phone.
Yeah.
Damn, I don't know. What Goochman hearing anything? I'm not hearing anything. Something weird's happening here.
Oh, it's Tony says not anymore. I don't think. Okay.
Bloody hell! I hate when that happens. Hasn't been happening a lot, but I might have to get a new headset just in case.
Yeah, so, nice guy Eddie. He's Chris Penn's one of my favorite roles, besides obviously Footloose, but he was fantastic in this role.
Chris Penn is always. I think he's always been good every time I've seen him in something, and it's a real shame that he died so soon.
Yeah, he was also in a movie called Wildlife. It was a sequel to. It's supposed to be the sequel to Fast Times at Richmond High, and he plays like the crazy, lead in the movie. Getting in trouble, getting away, that typical, role in the 80s there. So,
yeah, he's I think At Close Range, that's another good one with him as well. We was talking about that with the Outcast. And
it's
a very fucking underrated movie, and but he was so skinny when he was fucking young as well, and you can sort of see here he's starting to pack on the pounds a little bit.
Yeah, him and his brother are phenomenal actors.
Yeah, I know. Same. It's a shame that Sean Penn's become a bit of a pain in the ass because Chris actually seemed like a bit of a laid back guy from what I've seen of him. He seemed like somebody you could actually have a laugh with. And yeah, now they're talking about K Billy super sounds of the 70s, which is not just another little bit to add to the conversation, but it does become something in a very memorable scene later, and it's something that happens a lot in the movie. Like you get Stephen Wright with that really really slow drone cutting between different parts of the movies, and it's a nice little way to open up this universe a bit as well. Really flesh this world out that Tarantino has created.
Yeah. And then this is all about the tip. And
yeah,
I don't believe in tipping. And this is like the intro. Like this is the first I think 5 minutes, and it's the beginning. And then Eddie comes out. What do you mean you don't tip? Pay up. I paid for lunch. You gave me a tip. And he goes, just because you paid for breakfast, I will.
I know. I know. There's some people say he might have a fucking point because it's like a good way for him not to pay the staff a proper wage, something like that. And I know, but I think Steve Buscemi disagrees with it in real life because he's even stated that every time he tips, he doubles his tip now since he did this movie just to prove he's not this character.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Oh, wow, that's hilarious.
I saw that. I don't know if you're saying it as a joke though, but it made me laugh anyway. And yeah, he seems like a really fucking super nice guy as well. This Steve Buscemi though as well, because I think he was like a firefighter as well. And when 9/11 happened, he actually came and volunteered and helped out some of the firefighters deal with the debris and anyone that might have been trapped in the two towers.
Yeah,
Twin Towers. Sorry.
I never heard of him before this movie, and then after this he was like in Fargo. He was in like a whack load of movies right after this. Like he was everywhere. I want to say he was in he wasn't in The Big Lebowski, or was he? He wasn't.
Yeah, he's in. Hey, Steve Buscemi
was he in The Big Lebowski?
Yeah, he's like, shut the fuck up, Donnie. Yeah.
Oh yeah. He blew up after. I want to say this is the role that kind of blew him up.
I think he was in other roles. I think he was in like King of New York. He's been in a couple of Miami Vice episodes, and but I finished.
Sandler. He's in all the Adam Sandler films.
Oh yeah, he's in loads of Adam Sandler films.
Wedding Singer, and he was great in. Oh yeah, Desperado. That he's great in that.
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, this beer tastes like piss.
Yeah, no. Can I get a cleaner mug? Fuck yours. What the clean one I got?
Yeah.
He's always funny. Yeah, we're getting loads of good stuff in the chats here. Buscemi didn't. Awesome. Yeah, let's have a look. Scroll up a little bit because I'm missing some. From what I heard, he had crippling insecurities. I'm like, are you talking about Chris Penn there? I wouldn't have thought that because he seemed like a very straight up confident guy. And Mr. Orange snitching on Mr. Pink for gives away that he's a cop. Yeah, that's a good little bit of foreshadowing, a very subtle one as well. I like little subtle moments like that when you don't realize when you hit, and I think he does kind of make some points as well. If you're complaining about your job not paying you enough, then learn to fucking typo. And today it's like learn to code, isn't it? But yeah, it's like, but he does make some points as well. Like, well, at McDonald's, they work their fucking asses off there, but you don't tip them, do they? But
I'm like, good point.
yeah, fucking hell. I used to work at McDonald's. It's not an easy. And I'm a bit of a clumsy fucker as well, so I wasn't very good at sort of keeping with the pace. I couldn't, though. I'm
you were the fry guy? Were you the fry guy?
I was in laws. I did laws. I was always like, I did fucking laws, mate. I'm a slow guy. I'm a very slow guy. I am. I'm a very slow, patient guy, and you're in a fast-paced environment where you really need to be on your tail. And just one for me. No, but yeah, like you could have tipped this girl. She was nice, and it's like, yeah, but she's not special. Yeah, what's so special about that? Going taking around the back to suck your dick. It's like,
yeah.
I like Chris Penn's face when he does that. He's like, he's actually thinking about it as well. He's like, yeah, you know, I'd do that. It's like, coffee 6 times though. Fucking hell, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is I love this intro. It's like, oh, the world's smallest violin playing for
Yeah.
the waitresses around the world. Yeah.
And it does give him a little bit more incentive to his character as well. Yeah, he is a bit more sympathetic to the people, because he knows he's going to have to hold a lot of people up and probably cause harm to civilians, but he still has a little bit of humanity in him, a little bit of empathy for people in general. Like to him, this whole jewelry thing is just a job, isn't it? He only does what he has to do.
Mm-hmm. Is Tim Roth like a method actor? Because he looks like he's a method actor.
He said he used to try and do it back in the days when he was trying to be like De Niro, but in the end he just stopped doing it. And he thought, yeah, I just try and go by instincts, and yeah, I kind of understand that. So yeah, he only did it, and he doesn't audition as well because apparently he's fucking terrible at auditioning. Every time he's asked to audition for a role, he always tells him, listen, if you want me for the role, you're going to have to pick me because it's not an arrogance thing. I'm just bad at auditions. I am. And somehow he's managed to get a lot of work for it.
Well, he was in that movie with Liam Neeson, Rob Roy, I think it was.
Yeah, I need to see that.
Oh, he is such a prick in that movie. He's the big antagonist in that movie. Yeah, I don't want to say too much, but like you're gonna hate him in that movie, and he does such a great job with that role. It's
yeah,
really,
he can
really
play
good.
anything. He can play anything. This guy.
Well, he also plays in that movie Hotel 13 Rooms, is it, or
4 Rooms? Yeah,
4 Rooms. Yeah,
I think that might be one of the few performances where I was a little 50-50 on. I think he starts off a little bit too eccentric, but
yes, I agree with you there.
So soon as it got to the Tarantino bit, I felt, all right, his character's still kind of eccentric, but he seems a little bit more. He's toned it down a little bit. He's actually a bit more sympathetic and likable, and he's actually a lot more funnier in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen some of his earlier stuff, and he really does come across like a kid who's come from a working class background, and there is a real genuine honesty in his performances. Though he doesn't look like he never comes across as a theatre actor. He comes across as a proper working class actor who can just really get down to the nitty gritty of his character when he needs to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and he's not all that young there. I think he's in his 30s. I mean, but he really fucking looks like a young lad though.
Yeah, he looks like he's in his 20s there. He's
very young there, but he's got a bit of a cool swagger as well. And yeah, I like him. I like Tim Roth. Fucking hell, I don't think I've ever seen an interview where he's come across like an arsehole.
Yeah. What's up, Gord King?
Yeah, where is he? Let's find him. Here we go. Hey, God King. All right, thanks. And yeah, I was a little bit late in saying this, but thanks for everyone for joining me. Toxic, Donny Bass, Tomby,
Lord Toxic,
and,
Tomby. Oh, Tomby, I didn't see you there. What's up, Tomby?
Yeah, and CLS, Tony Down Under, Easy, Lemon Squeezy. Yeah, you're fucking great to have you all here. I'm glad you're joining us, and I hope it's entertaining. And yeah, if you haven't already, do just subscribe to Gooch and like and comment on his videos when you get a chance. So
subscribe to this channel. Let's get this channel up and going.
Yeah. I get if I get less than 100 now, I can probably get super chats in.
Yeah, let's share this on Good Old X, and let's get a group of people in here.
Yeah. Easy Lemon Squeeze is saying YouTube been censoring people's messages. Yeah, that's pretty fucking evasive. That the fact they're doing it so quick as well. That's just that really rubs me the wrong way. That. So yeah, even Mr. Orange is like, you know what? Yeah, give him $1 black and
yeah.
And he's like, no, fucking keep him here. And then we get to the bit you mentioned where Lawrence Turn is like, wait, Mr. Dip didn't throw in. It's like, yeah, he don't believe in it. And yet, like Toxic said, that's a good little moment that does give away that he might be a snitch. And yeah, obviously he's going to compromise his standards a little bit here because, yeah, the guy paid for your fucking breakfast. At least do a little bit of contribution here for a little bit.
Quick question for you. when you watch this movie, who do you think has the best role and does the best with their role?
They are all really fucking good, but I think my favorite is still Mr. Pink. I don't know why, but there's something about his performance that he almost outdoes everybody else in this film, and this is right up against Chris Penn and Lawrence Tierney and Harvey Keitel here as well.
Yeah,
and I think he might be the smartest character in this because when everyone else is sort of getting over emotional, he is the one trying to fucking calm things down and so they can try and get this situation sorted out.
Yeah, he's always going,
as
am I the only one
possible.
being a professional here? Like,
Yeah.
he always throws that out. I agree with you, but I don't know.
It's just opinions. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Feel free to tell me your favorite, you know.
No, I love like Buscemi, like because he was such an to me an unknown. It was like a big surprise for me. Tim Roth was a huge surprise, like going through the whole movie, him being the rat, being the detective in there. I gotta go with like Tim Roth because like the bathroom, like we'll get into it, but like there's some scenes in there where he just sells it, and it's just like, yeah, he really delivered in this movie. But I mean, again, you got Harvey Keitel, and then you got Madsen there. Like everyone, like it's so tough because like when you watch the movie, you start like really get invested in certain characters, and you're just like, oh, that's a great line, or oh man, he's doing something crazy here. And it's like such a great film. Great casting. It was great casting, that's for sure.
Yeah, Tarantino really knows how to fucking cast his characters.
Yeah.
Like, I think half the time he does write the characters with certain actors in mind. And as we go back to Harvey Keitel, he is basically the reason why this film got off the ground because he loved the script so much. He even decided to throw some money in to help Tarantino get it made. So, yeah, fucking good on this guy. Just helping the small guy out. It's like, yeah, he could have been another elitist arsehole just fucking saying, you're just a small director. Why do I give a shit about you? No. You got fucking talent. And you're not real, and no one is realizing that potential. I want to see that potential realized. So yeah, I give credit to Harvey Keitel, I really do. And what was it? I would pass this channel on to my sex addict support group. I'm worried about what would happen in the chat.
Do it, Donnie. Do it.
Probably get my channel fucking banned, but at least we'll have a laugh doing it though. At least we'll have a laugh before it gets banned. Have a good time. And yeah, the opening scene where the gang are discussing Madonna. Nice guy that keeps out of the discussion. Because Sean Penn was married to Madonna years back, and obviously they had split up some time before. So it's actually a nice little moment there.
I did not know about Lord Toxic. Great info there about James Woods there. I did not know that.
Oh yeah, James Woods. Yeah, I heard about that trivia as well. He fired his agent because he didn't. Well, let's have a look. Yeah, because his agents turned it down without consulting him. Yeah, that's pretty fucking shitty. James Woods was right to fucking fire his agent because he could have given him a really good fucking role here as well. James Woods, mate. I fucking love that actor. It's a shame he's been blacklisted. He fucking deserves better. He really does.
Oh, he does. Like him in Casino. Oh,
man. Yeah, Casino. Fucking The Hard Way is even his little cameos in Family Guy are just fucking brilliant.
What's the one? I always forget the name of one with Sean Young where they're heavy cocaine users.
I don't think I've seen that one yet.
Oh,
I'll look it up though.
Really good. Really, really good.
Yeah, now we get on to finally they're off to the job now. And it's just such a fucking great opening scene. It's just them walking in slow motion and you get
it's iconic. It's iconic. Yeah.
Little green bag playing and it's Tarantino this is when I started as a kid. I was like, I don't like old music. I'm a kid, it's all granddad stuff, but I watch Tarantino movies, I'm like, I want to listen to old music now. Fuck the new stuff.
David Duchovny auditioned for this too as Mr.
Damn man, yeah, fucking hell.
I don't know if Duchovny would have fit the movie though. I kind of agree with Tarantino.
Yeah, because Tarantino's always particular about who he puts in his movies. Like he's kind of had a reputation for bringing, actors back from some kind of career slump, like Robert Foster and John Travolta, but it's never intentional. He just picks who he thought was right for the movie, whether it's a big star or a Z-list actor,
Mm-hmm.
and it works. And yet, then we come to after the credits, and you're like wondering what the fuck has happened. Orange is like wounded, he's bleeding, he's screaming, he's scared,
And he's
you got
calling him Larry. He's calling him
Yeah.
Larry, and you're like, what? Like he's calling him Larry. Like, and so right away you know Harvey Keitel's name, which I mean it's kind of like foreshadowing later on, but yeah, just hang on, like you're gonna live, because like
Yeah.
Tim Roth is just acting like he's in extreme pain, fighting it. He's worried
Yeah.
about dying, asking him to just drop him off at the hospital. It's such a great intro. Like you're just like, why are we starting here? Like we're not even seeing the bank robbery. So
I know. It's probably painful getting shot in the fucking gut. I mean,
oh yeah,
I'm surprised he hasn't fucking died of shock recent either, because it doesn't have to be a vital organ half the time. Just the shock will kill you straight away. You'll fucking shit your pants, as Lord Toxic has told us once in another stream. But yeah, you see, Larry's really really does care about this lad, and he's trying to reassure him as much as he can. He's yeah, now they're finally in the warehouse, and yeah, he's talking to him like a kid who's a kid a little bit, isn't he? Like he's saying, "Who's a tough guy? Who's a tough guy?" You know? And
yeah.
Because you see that in like Saving Private Ryan, where they're all wounded and they're crying for the mums. It's like they revert back to some kind of childlike, some childlike state of fear. But obviously,
such a great shot, such a great scene.
Yeah, and it makes you care for these characters a little bit more as well. You're not just seeing criminals who are bad; you're seeing just people who just commit crimes, and that's it. Just normal people like you and me. And obviously, they can't do anything right now because they can't just drop him off to a hospital because there's so many cops around, and there's always a chance he could fucking give them up for a better deal or less jail time. And you never get what he's saying here in his ear. You know, he whispers something, but and it makes Tim Roth laugh. And I think it was improvised as well. And Tarantino wanted to leave it ambiguous because you don't really need to know what he's saying. You just know that he's there, he's comforting him. He's trying to take his mind off the fact that he's dying and bleeding out.
I think he's like talking about, because he pulls out the comb and he says, "You look like a mess. I want to make you look pretty here."
Yeah,
like something like that. And he just starts combing his hair, and it's just like, why is he combing his hair? This thing, and I think that's why Roth was like kind of broke character a little bit there and started laughing, because it's just like that's the least of your worries, like you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tarantino has some fucking banging soundtracks. Yeah, I could put that stuff on, and it is kind of like introducing the young generation to an older generation of music and realizing, yeah, you know what, the older generation had some fucking good stuff. And yeah, I rarely listen to new music because of Tarantino and Scorsese and that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Was the best Mr. White until 2008.
Oh yeah. Breaking Bad.
Yes, fucking hell. I was racking my brain there for a second. I was like, Mr. White.
Yeah, Breaking Bad, Mr. White. Yeah,
that was a fucking good show. I need to rewatch that again. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. And Donnie Bates, Tarantino's characters never paint anyone. Tarantino's movies don't paint everyone as black and white. Yeah, and I like that. The characters can be downright scumbags, but he always makes them kind of likable and a little bit charming and very real and fleshed out.
Well, yeah, he starts off this movie like with the relationship between these two, and it's so intense. You're like, it's like watching Saving Private Ryan. Like, you know how Saving Private Ryan, you start off right at like storming the beaches there, right? So like it's like you watch this and you're like, holy, you're like right away you're invested. Like you're just like, what is going on? Like, why are we starting at this point? And the character building and the relationship building here, is just phenomenal. Like, because like we said in the back room, this is such a heavy dialogue movie, and every line has meaning to it. It's great. It doesn't get much better than this.
Yeah, I know, and it's almost like this could be a play as well. It's like this. It was obviously not written thought to be a play though, but this could easily be one because it's just mostly guys talking in one situation. You don't really need to relocate as much, do you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's mostly in the garage here. This whole movie, pretty much, I think I would say 80% of the movie's in the garage here.
I know, exactly, and this could really get boring very quickly. But yeah, so let's have a look at it. During filming, a paramedic was kept on set to make sure that Mr. Orange's amount of blood loss was kept consistent and realistic to that of a real gunshot victim. So yeah, it's good, and yeah, you do actually feel like this guy is in fucking danger. I mean, 'cause he's fucking bleeding out. The guy practically nearly covers the whole floor with his own blood. It's crazy.
I was a paramedic for 15 years. So I was going to say something like, since Toxic brought it, I was a paramedic for 15 years. So yeah, that gut shot, when they're talking about you can last for 3 days, he's kind of correct to a point, depending on the blood loss. But yeah, like it's like the old La Costa Nostra days where they would like shoot a guy, like they would take a gun and shoot him up the ass and let him bleed out for days. Same thing with the gut shot. They would do that too, because it's so painful and there's nothing you can do about it. So yeah, the intensity of this is bang on.
Yeah. And then Mr. Pink walks through the room and is like, is that a fucking setup or what? And it's like, yeah. He knows. They instantly know they're being fucking set up.
Yeah, septic would set in. They're toxic for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, because you got loads of fucking like infections and that. Plus you got lead as well in you, so it's probably a bit of poison in there too. But
well, it's bounced around, right? It's just it depends if it mushrooms or not. It just all depends on the caliber of the bullet and everything. So
yeah, it must be a painful 3 days as well, though. Fucking hell.
You can live up to 3 days. I'm not saying you're going to. It's just it depends. The severity,
depends,
right?
Yeah. Yeah, like maybe it might go through and penetrate your liver, maybe something like that, depending on the angle of the shot.
Like I literally like had two brothers shoot each other fighting over the last spear. They shot each other in the gut.
Fuck.
And
Jesus,
and the guy he had like I want to say like half his intestines taken out, and like it was just he was in like. He could still talk. Like that's the thing with Tim Roth. It's like he would sit there and you look like you're going to lose him, and then he come rebound right back, and he would like start talking about the incident, and then he would like all of a sudden like fade out. So yeah, what Tim Roth does here is pretty bang on.
Yeah, because he does a lot of screaming as well. So yeah, I kind of agree with you there. And obviously, Mr. Pig's wondering where the hell is all the others now, and yeah, now he knows that Mr. Brown is probably is dead in the robbery. He's not coming back, and it's like, they already know the situation.
I just want to point out the beginning of this whole movie is Mr. White with Mr. Orange on the slope there together. They're holding each other. And the end of the movie, it kind of goes full circle. So I just want to point that out. It's like Tarantino does like this. That's why I love this movie. He knows how to, at this point, knew how to write a really good script.
I know, because you always need like little setups or little things coming back around in full circle, don't you? It's kind of like something that always makes a script feel much more richer and much more well crafted as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but these guys have been doing jobs for a while as well. They know when the setup's, because the cops seem to have just come out of fucking nowhere. They didn't. It wasn't like they showed up 2 minutes after things went crazy. No, they showed up right after, so they know they know they've been waiting.
Yeah, they were talking about Mr. Blonde, and then how the alarm went off, and then the cops were there instantly. He said that we would have had 4 minutes at least, but they were there already. Like he says, even if a patrol car was coming by, we still would have like 2 to 3 minutes. So he says, like, for that, he says that had to be a setup. Oh yeah, here we go. Let's go through this. Then the alarm gets tripped. Yeah.
Turn around, all his cops are outside. Yeah, but they seem to both be remembering it a little bit wrong as well. Like, as soon as the alarms went off, he saw the cops, but Mr. Pink's like, no, they didn't show up till after Mr. Blonde started shooting everyone because, I think the coppers were trying to make this look like was going to try and give him a bit of time to get the stuff and get out, but then as soon as Mr. Blonde starts shooting, they think, oh no, innocent people are getting killed. We need to step in straight away. And he almost gives away his name as well. It's like, he's like, yeah, listen, we've just gone through hectic. Enough with these Mr. White stuff. Is like, and Mr. Pink's doing the very, very smart fucking thing here. He's like, no, do not tell me your fucking name. All right. I mean, I want to trust you, and I want you to trust me as well. So you tell me your name. There's there's more chance you're gonna start thinking I might be a snitch.
Yeah.
And then we get to a bit where Mr. White's he still feels like he's questioning him a little bit, like, all right, so how did you get out? And Mr. Pink gives a very honest answer. I just shot my way out. It's like, fucking what else can you do? There's no time to think. You just fucking run and gun it, don't you?
Yeah, and then we get this flashback, which is great. Like, it's like the intensity starts, like, that's what I love about this movie. The intensity is a constant flow. Like you're just like, there's no kind of letdown. I think the only time where you're kind of relaxed a little bit is later on when you see the background for Mr. Orange.
Yeah.
And how he's describing how he got involved with the gang here. But like, yeah, the intensity's like pretty steady throughout the film.
And it stops the warehouse from being a little bit boring as well. It gives a little bit of time to just sort of cut away and have a little bit of action as well, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, so it's not just feeling too monotonous. And I like it when he knocks this guy out and the guy's like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck's your problem? It's like, fucking asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a great shot too. Yeah, he gets up
and gets run over. Yeah.
He breaks the window and just pulls this woman out of the... It's like GTA before there was GTA.
Yeah, and I think this woman, she's the same woman that gets shot by Marcellus Wallace after Bruce Willis runs him over. I think it is anyway. So it might be a little bit of I think I saw it in the trivia, but she seems to be wearing the same. She seems to be wearing the same fucking clothes as well. So
really, I'm gonna have to check that out now.
I know. Yeah, obviously he's trying to get in the car and he's gunning down a few fucking cops. He's just unloading. I don't even think he's properly aiming. He's just shooting in the direction just so he can get them off his tail and give him enough time to get in the car and fucking bomb it out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and obviously the cop misses, even though
I know this is the 90s, but what year do you think this film is actually happening? Like what year do you think this is?
I always assumed it was maybe 1991. It was happening in as well because, some movies get shot like a year before the release, so it could have been 1990 itself. It could be set in because you still see a few clothes that look a little 80s, like Chris Penn in the tracksuit and all that stuff.
I assume it's like in the late 80s.
It could be, but it could also be the fact that this is the early 90s and some of the other people that really catching up on the latest styles, so they still look a little bit late 1980s as well. I think, and Tarantino, I think, established that in Pulp Fiction with Samuel Jackson's Soul Glow haircut and John Travolta's mullet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've been too busy fucking working for their boss. They hadn't really had time to decide if they want to make a change of style, anything like that. So, see the bottles. Oh yeah. Lord Toxic was on about the bottles. I think the soaps are like different colors of which the characters use. Like Mr. Pink uses the pink ones here, Mr. White uses that one here as well, and I think there's some orange ones here for Mr. Orange, but we don't really see him use any soaps later on, do we? So,
yeah, because they talk about the soaps like, and later on, Mr. Orange talks about the soap.
Yeah, And now they're talking about Mr. Blonde because he's just gone fucking apeshit. They're wondering why the fuck he was even hired for this job if he's gonna go off like that. He's just fucking shooting. He just fucking shot a load of people after the alarm went off.
And they talk about how he's definitely not the rat, and he's like pissed. And Mr. White is getting pissed off because he's like, "Why would Joe hire a guy like that?" Like,
I know. Yeah, and obviously, and we do see later that that Joe and Eddie do seem to have a fondness for Mr. Blonde, and we do get to see why. But at the same time, wondering if he really is that trustworthy, why the fuck is he going fucking nuts? Was it because the alarm went off and he was worried that he would get caught and he didn't want to go back to jail? He was scared he was going to be in prison again. That's the only interpretation I can come up with to why he suddenly went fucking crazy. Because he does seem to have done a lot for Eddie and Joe in the past.
yeah.
But yeah, they're real pissed off as well. I know they're real pissed off as well. And I like he loads the gun and he gets a little bit fucking. He fucking turns his head straight away as well. And yeah, everyone's on fucking edge, isn't it? Well, to say that he's a psycho is putting a bit too simply because he's not a simple character. He is actually more complex than we think, but he's definitely unhinged though. We do see that later in the film. But it is very hard to establish this character. He's kind of an enigma, that Mr. Blonde.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we still haven't even really seen him.
I know. I know.
You like you're already wanting to see Mr. Blonde. Like the lead ups to this is so good. Like it's fantastic.
Yeah, and I like how I always like seeing Mr. White acts like a human being as well. And he's like, how do you think that? How old was that black girl? Was that Mr. Blonde killed? But it's never implied that she's killed. I don't think. Like maybe she did get injured, but I think she got killed though. I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This back and forth, and like Mr. Pink is just talking to like let's be logical about this. Like there's these steps that are happening. Like there has to be someone involved, and then they start going through everyone and. They're trying to figure out who's who, and
I know, and they're trying to really narrow it down as well. And I do like the fact that they start showing each other that they could be the fucking rat, because it's a smart thing. Because I mean, even if you're talking to a guy and trying to mull things over, you still got to be suspicious of the other guy as well, because these guys don't fucking know each other. They know Joe, they know Eddie, and that's it.
And then he tells him, "I've got the diamonds. Don't worry about it."
Yeah. So I think he is trying to get a little bit of trust as well at the same time, because he needs to he needs to be less suspicious to everyone else too. And yeah, he seems to be the fucking best guy to hire. He can handle himself in a heated situation. He can keep his fucking head. He's a bit of a fucking loudmouth and a bit of a gobshite, but he knows what he's fucking doing.
Well, the setup to this, because you're thinking, why don't they just take the diamonds and get the hell out of there?
I know.
But and then we know about the diamonds later, like a little further along when Joe talks about the diamonds. So, it's because you're like I'm thinking if I was in Mr. Pink's spot, I would just take the diamonds. I wouldn't say anything. I would just take the diamonds and get the hell out and make all that money. But like Mr. White's just like, no, we'll stay here. What Joe says, we'll just wait because he'll get him a doctor. We'll just we'll wait for everybody.
Yeah,
and then they talk about Mr. Brown and Mr. Blue.
Because Larry is getting way too emotionally involved. He's because he has actually grown to be a fondless kid. And I don't know if Larry was ever a dad or if he ever wanted to be. And that's why he's sort of trying to be this surrogate father figure to him. And that's the impression I got. I never saw him as friends. I always saw him as like a little bit of a father and son thing going on. And they almost had a fucking prequel that had Mr. Blonde and Vincent Vega as younger criminals, but it never happened because the actors got too fucking old.
Oh, that would have been fantastic.
I know, because these are two really fucking cool characters played by some very charismatic actors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Mr. Pink, he's kind of right as well. He's like, we don't know what the fuck is happening. Everyone's going crazy, and the more we stay here, the more likely we're going to get pinched.
Mm-hmm. It's ramping up the intensity, and
Yeah,
as they continue to go through this, they start. It's funny because they go through the ebbs and flows of the conversation where they're agreeing and then they disagree. They agree, then they disagree, and the whole time Mr. Pink is like saying, "You're not being a professional."
yeah. And yet, Donny Bass is right. Who Joe and Eddie are the only ones that have the connections to move the diamonds. I mean, what the fuck is Mr. Pink and Mr. Mike gonna do if they're just fucked off? Because they got to get those diamonds cut, don't they? They got to get them sold, and then the money comes after. And yeah, obviously, White's talking about another job he did back, and they found out that one of them was an undercover cop. But thankfully, they discovered in time before things went to shit.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, they're going to point a few fingers at Joe because he set it up. Was he trying to set us up so he could get the diamonds himself and take a bigger cut? But obviously, Mr. White's like, listen, I've known him way too fucking long. I've known him way too fucking long for him to do all this shit to me.
What's up, Copa and Cannoli?
Yeah, how you doing, man? Yeah, try and get you on the stream one day, man. I think I have, have I? I'll have to have a look at my schedule. Yeah, I got a message from Sassy Sasquatch, and still talking about trying to get you both on the stream here as well sometime in April. So, yeah, just message me on Twitter, tell me what film you want to discuss, and I'll get it organised. So even Mr. Pink's has a bit of an affection for Joe as well, but he still needs to be smart and assume that they could be setting them up as well, because just because you've known them and trusted them doesn't always mean they're trustworthy. Because I mean, they're fucking criminals, for Christ's sake. You're working with criminals.
Yeah, you don't know who to freaking trust. So, like, I'm just curious, like, with this heavy dialogue and the conversation between the two, I'm wondering if it's all like to the T script or if they ad-libbed a little bit. I'm wondering if Tarantino let them go a little bit, just like a little off.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've looked up that bit of trivia. I mean, I think it's fully scripted because
I know he's anal about his dialogue stuff, but like I'm just curious with his first film if he let them go off a little bit. So
yeah, because there seems to be a nice little rhythm to the dialogue, a nice little flow to it. So I don't. If it was improvised, I don't think it would have had that same flow. And yeah, obviously now that he's saying that Mr. Orange could be the fucking snitch, Mr. White's getting all emotional. Yeah. He's like, yeah, he took a fucking bullet from me. Okay, he's like, yeah, but that doesn't mean shit. All right, just because he fucking took a bullet for you doesn't mean that he's to be trusted either.
That's the ebb and flow of that conversation. It's just like. And then Alabama, and then you're talking about working with some girl. Yeah.
So it gives a little bit of context between the relationship between Joe and Larry as well, and we do get a bit about his past as well. And yeah, he was talking about a crime partnership with a woman named Alabama, and we didn't know if that was the same Alabama from True Romance. Because if it is, then Alabama's been lying to fucking Clarence a whole lot about her past.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's a good point. Holy, there probably is a link to it.
Yeah,
because they talk about her, like she switches over to another guy, he says he hasn't worked over Europe, and then he talks about they quit, and then she went to another guy for the last year and a half or something like that, or 2 years.
I know, and they said they did about 4 jobs together and decided to call it quits. Yeah, Easy Lemons Squeezy. Do watch True Romance. It's really fucking good. I've reviewed it. I've done a rewatch with Blue Collar Loser, and yeah, you will not regret it. But
yes, Cannoli, this is his best movie in my opinion because it's so well laid out from beginning to end. and the dialogue is fantastic throughout it. I just this for me, this is his best movie, easy.
And that is yeah. So now, yeah. So him and Alabama did 4 jobs together. So if this is the same Alabama in True Romance, then it does probably make a bit more sense how she was able to sort of maybe fight off Tony Soprano, and the fact that she could kill easily as well a little bit. I don't know. Actually, no, she was very hesitant about killing Virgil in True Romance a little bit at first. So who knows?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah. Fucking hell. Toxic. Yeah, that is damn, man. Damn. Natural born killers. Fucking hell. So yeah. One scagnated to another. They're both bastards.
Oh.
Natural born killer. Yeah.
Yeah. So he talks about this job, and then he says, I think, yeah, until now, he talks about unable to do the job until, and then he says, yeah, until now. Harvey Keitel just kind of smiles.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a bit of an old school coolness to him, Harvey Keitel.
Oh,
And I was,
yeah.
yeah, now obviously he's there for like because Joe wants him for a job. And so it's explaining all the procedures, what's happening, and the connections, all that stuff.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah,
gonna happen.
who can move the ice, and like that, it's great that they add that there, because you're thinking, why doesn't Mr. Pink take off? And because he couldn't move the ice, and Joe knows a person to move it, and he says it's a lot of money. And then
I know. And they've got to move it fast as well, because I'm guessing because it's such a huge amount that they're gonna be getting a lot of heat on them.
Because it comes from Israel, right? I think there's Israel.
Yeah.
Israel diamonds.
Yeah, I think there was a bit like these Israelis or fucking Palestinians or fucking Arabic people moving diamonds back in the 70s as well. I think casinos kind of established that a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's letting them know like the job's going to be happening in daylight, so it's going to be very busy, and so it's going to be a little bit more of a difficult job, but probably the best time as well. So yeah, it looks like Mr. Pink is on his way to try and get the fuck out of there, because he's obviously not easy staying in this warehouse, because there could be compromise there as well. And yeah, obviously they thought he was fucking dead, but he's not. He's fine. He's just passed out.
Yeah, he takes a little mirror and holds it to underneath his nose to see if he's breathing. And then he wipes the mist off the mirror. This is where it gets intense between the two, Pink and White. They start going back and forth. And
yeah, because he wants to get him to a hospital as well, and Mr. Pink's worried that there's a chance that the coppers will question him and press him, push him, charge him, and Mr. Orange could fucking snitch them all out to get less jail time or make a bloody deal with them.
Yeah, Copa, we did talk about the James Woods part.
Yeah, no. Yeah, and Tony Down Under referenced that he got blacklisted because he was a conservative. Yeah, that seems to be the fucking case now. I think John Voight as well.
Oh wow, John Voight.
Yeah. So I've not seen him in anything new recently, and he's been on like the Daily Wire as well. I think he's So respect to John Voight as well for actually having a bit of common sense. Maybe respect him more as an actor as well. Yeah, so trying to figure out how they can get him help without worrying about being compromised. So yeah, get in touch with Joe. They could get him to some kind of like fucking criminal doctor who'll come and see him and try and fix him up.
And yeah, he's just talking about waiting for Joe staying put, and Pink is like, we need to move. Like he's sensing like this is a hot spot. Like they have to get out of there, and he's just Mr. White's just thinking, no, we got to stay put. We got to trust Joe. Yeah. He's going to get the doctor. He's going to get this organized, and we'll get out of here.
Yeah, actually, Donny Bass has made a fucking good point. How did they know about a robbery that was happening? I'm assuming that the coppers already know about Joe, and they recognised that Larry was seeing him, and they probably had some suspicions that he'd probably be up to something soon. They probably might have been on Joe for a while trying to find something. So they got their undercover cop to try and get in there and found out if he was planning anything criminal. That's what I'm guessing what happened. So he seems to be a bit of a big fish. Seems to be a bit of a big deal. He's a very smart criminal who's well organized, and he seems to have a few connections around the city.
I've never heard, like, it's interesting because Buscemi, like, this is kind of one of his first or earlier movies. I want to say his first bigger movie, but him like going toe to toe with Harvey Keitel here, who in my mind is one of like a legends of acting.
Yeah.
He kind of overshadows Harvey Keitel a little bit here with his acting here, because like he's just, I'm just curious if he talks about that scene, the scene, like, because it's a good, what I'd say, a good 15-minute block here, or 10-15-minute block here, probably 10-minute block, where they're going back and forth and sorting things out. And I'm just curious, like, if he's actually come out and talked about doing this bit with Harvey Keitel.
Well, I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen anything about that, but
yeah,
I know, but it's a pretty good. Yeah.
Normally, you would like when people interview a relatively unknown actor. What's it like going up with, like, Harvey Keitel? Like people always talk about like Al Pacino or De Niro and stuff like that. I would consider, like, you're sitting there in a room acting with heavy dialogue with Harvey Keitel. Someone would ask that in an interview. I know I would.
I know, because I know it is a big thing as well, and I think because this was a role that got him a little bit more well known as well, and he's only done fucking better over the years, my opinion. And obviously, Larry has now told him that he gave him his first name, and we were just having a normal conversation. And Mr. Pink is really fucking pissed as well, because he's like, all right, you've been doing this gig for a fucking long time now, and you've just done something really stupid that will probably fucking give us all up. And he's yeah. And once again, Larry is very understandably being very emotional here. He's like, so I called him a name. We just got fucking shot. What else was I supposed to do? It's like, and now Mr. Pink is, yeah,
he's literally in the trenches. Sorry, there, and Neb, he was literally in the trenches with Mr. Orange. Like he pulling them out like out of war, pretty much, and intense action. And he's like created this relationship with Orange now, and when Pink is questioning everything, White gets so offended by it. It's and they start just pushing each other here, and it's like Pink's trying to be logical and reasonable about the thing, and White's just thinking emotionally. That's what I love about this scene.
I know, 'cause it shows how opposite they are as well. Like, he's a veteran, but at the same time, he's I think he has. I think because as he's gotten older, he's become a bit more sentimental in his old age. I mean, because he had a pretty much of an emotional attachment to Alabama as well when he was doing the jobs with her. But at the same time, he knew it couldn't last. So, yeah. But Mr. Pink, he just wants to fucking avoid jail, and he wants to do his job as smartly and efficiently as he can. And you wouldn't think he was that type of guy when you spoke to him, but no, he's. Once again, I would fucking hire him for a fucking job. He never lets emotions get in the way of his what he's trying to do. Yeah, he is professional. And it's like, yeah, because now you fucking tell him his name. No way we're taking him to a hospital now. He's got information that could fucking jeopardize us all. Obviously, they get into this fight, and then you get that very iconic shot where they're holding the guns at each other, and I like that.
Yeah. And this is where you see Mr. Blonde, like,
just
now,
standing
no, boys.
there.
Now, no, boys.
Yeah, just standing there
until someone starts crying.
I like him, man. He just does not give a fuck, and I love Michael Madsen for it, man. He is. Just sucking on that fucking drink.
Yeah,
it's classic. Yeah, now that he's back there, like, yeah, what the fuck are you doing here? What's going on? What's going on? They're telling him what's happened. Brown is dead, and we don't know where the others are. and they want him to explain what the fuck that whole massacre was all about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and obviously he's really fucking having it out with him, and it's real. It's really understandable. I mean, he just started shooting people, and the job could have gone really smoothly as well, but no, he just acted like a fucking madman, and loads of people got fucking killed when they shouldn't have been.
Yeah, and White, like, he lets his emotions. He wears them on his sleeve here. He's just like, like yelling at Mr. Blonde, and he's just so calm and cool. Like, he's just like, you're like, man, like, he has an aura about him. Like I was saying earlier, he has that. I always say the Harrison Ford effect, where you're instantly attracted to him.
Yeah, he never gets aggressive as well, even when he's being psychotic. He keeps that same sort of so laid back kind of charm,
Yeah,
good fuck.
Like that he's like 4 steps ahead of you, and you could see it all over him, and you're like pissed off, like, this guy knows what the next step is, and I don't know what the next step is.
Yeah, and obviously he's antagonizing his wife. Oh yeah, hello, Mrs. Sassy. Yeah, I think your husband Cannoli's on as well. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is still on. He's still on. So yeah, good to have you on as well. So obviously, so Mr. Blonde antagonizes him, and Mr. White almost goes for him. And once again, Mr. Pink trying to keep fucking calm as well. It's like, and even though he's got his fucking gripes with Mr. Blonde, he still has to things. They still need to fucking keep their heads and figure out what the hell is going on.
Am I the only professional here? Am I? He says that throughout the film, which is hilarious. That he calls himself a professional, which, I mean, it's true. I know. And he's like, I know you're not involved. I know I am not involved. I know for sure you're not involved.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because a cop wouldn't just fucking shouldn't be fucking killing innocent people anyway.
Yeah.
And I love how he sort of calms him down a little bit as well. He's like, I bet you're a big Lee Marvin fan, aren't you?
He just loves to antagonize. He's just like poking at him.
I know. But he seems to find it a little bit amusing as well. He's not getting so pissed off about. But obviously he's not just there as well at the rendezvous. He knows something's gone wrong as well, and he's managed to he has a nice little surprise which may progress who they're trying to may lead to some progress on who they're trying to find out who set them up. And I do like this a little bit, like he's also reassuring them that nice guy Eddie hasn't set them up and he's not fucked off with and he is coming down to see what the hell's happening. And Mr. White's like, why the fuck didn't you tell us? And he's like, you didn't ask. You don't need to ask. This is fucking vital information. You need to full disclosure on what's happening in this situation.
I got a little surprise for you guys. What?
Yeah.
Come here. I got a little surprise for you.
I know.
I love this. You're a piece of work, my friend.
Yeah. The inside the trunk shot, a very big staple in Tarantino's films, and I'm pretty sure he might have nicked it off some French films as well, because I know he was big on Jean-Luc Godard, but I've never seen any of his movies yet. So,
this was also in Goodfellas, in the beginning of Goodfellas.
Yes, right at the beginning, with the fucking Billy Bats. I've been listening to Wise-Guys as well, the audiobook, fucking brilliant to listen to.
Yeah.
And I want to do a stream on that one day as well.
Nice.
Yeah. Then we get the cop as well, and he's in the boat, and he's not going to have a fucking nice day. But now
go ahead.
But now we get to know a little bit about Mr. Blonde, and it's obviously setting up for the ending. So when Mr. Orange kills him and tells him that Mr. Orange was going to fucking backstab everyone, and it leads to a nice setup to why they know that Mr. Orange is going to be full of shit. And like I was on the phone to this guy who was probably owes him money, but he's actually not being very aggressive about it. He's like, listen, I know you'll pay me back. Stop saying you'll pay. You make me sound like an asshole here. So,
well, that's how you keep your enemies closer. Like, as they always say, you nice and calm and friendly, and you draw them in, and then when they're least expecting it, that's when you strike. So,
and I think in the book Get Shorted, Chili Palmer was going into detail about loan sharking as well. Like Like, I never bother with people who I know aren't going to pay back, all right? Because, and we don't do the whole breaking legs thing, because how the fuck are they going to pay for you if they're laid up in the hospital? So, yeah, it's obviously trying to, keep the people who owes him money on his good side as well. And then we get a little reference to Vic Vega, and little did we know that he would be related to another character in his later movie Pulp Fiction.
Vinny Vega.
Yeah. And yeah, you can see, and once again, he gives a little bit of context. He makes you feel like these people actually do have a relationship, and they have had a history together. And it's obviously we found out that Mr. Blonde has just come out of prison, and Joe's so glad to have him back, and he's making him feel at home. And not only that, Mr. Blonde's got a parole officer, and he's called Scagnetti, and he's a fucking dick, and is really restricting him on a lot of things, though, out of suspicion that he might cause more trouble again. And I I think I'll score that a little bit.
He wants to get back to work. He wants to.
Yeah, he wants
eager to get back. Yeah,
yeah, he wants to. Yeah, crime's all he knows, and I think he loves doing crime. He loves fucking stealing and robbing and that. He would never do a fucking honest job. If he did, he would find a way to jeopardize it. And it also brings a bit more context into a relationship. Like, he actually did lose a lot of years of his life for Joe, and Joe was actually very fucking grateful about it, and was doing whatever he could to help him out, make his stay a little bit more comfortable. And then we get I love
nice
the
guy,
scene where
Eddie.
nice guy,
Nice
Eddie.
guy.
I love fucking Chris Penn in this. He's so fucking good.
It's
He's
great.
So good.
He's such a great actor. It's such a shame. I love this because you get to see the camaraderie. I can never say this word. Camaraderie.
Camaraderie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a caveman trying to speak here. And you see this, and they start wrestling. Like, you could see, like, he's taking off his watch and everything. You're like, what is he doing here? And you hear the banter, and you're like, is he gonna go down? Is this shit gonna go down with these two? And I love it.
I know. I love always giving him shit, but it's sort of funny as well. It's like, oh, your dad was telling me that the business is going shit because you keep fucking up, and even his dad starts playing alongside.
And he's busting his balls about prison life, and like everything that happens in prison, and then he start wrestling.
Yeah,
and then
I think they're going out for real as well. I think I really think they were going at it for real as well. I said, listen, don't rehearse this. Just fucking do it for real. Just whatever happens in the scene, we'll keep it filming it, because it looks like he's grabbing a chair to keep his balance from stopping himself from hitting the floor as well, which is
Chris Penn was an actual wrestler, eh? He wrestled.
Barla. Yeah, Barla.
Yeah,
because even when he was thinner, he still had a little bit of a build on him, didn't he?
Yeah, he did wrestling.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "You see that, Daddy? You see that?
Yeah, you tried to fuck
I
me.
were on the ground there. He tried to
You
fuck
sick
me, Dad.
bastard! You tried to fuck me.
I don't know what you do in your home, in your own home behind closed doors.
they're like kids, aren't they? They've obviously not seen each other for a long time properly, and the fact that they're doing this, they probably have had a history of they probably hung out a lot as kids as well, and was always fucking giving each other shit, and they got a great love for each other as well, and I love that. I love how Joe turns straight into a dad trying to calm these kids down from acting like idiots.
Well, you're seeing the character building here, and you're seeing the relationship building, and you're loving it. You're fully invested in it. You're just like, this is great. Like, how do you not like these guys? And as the movie continues, you start liking them more because of the dialogue and the banter and the jokes, and it's fantastic.
I know, it's and you're starting to think like, wait, what the fuck? Wait, this is the psycho that they're on about. He seems like a fucking cool guy. I like. He's funny.
Yeah.
He's fucking funny. He'd be a laugh to hang out with. He always gives him shit like he's been taking up the ass way too fucking much, and you would never get that now. You would never get that now. Fucking hell! All that black seam would be popped up to your ass. Now it's gone into your brain. It's coming out your mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, it kind of reminds me of the time when I quoted that line from Chris Penn in True Romance on. It was a couple of weeks ago on the Outcast stream, and it's the line where Chris Penn says, Plus, you want to fuck her in the ass because that pussy just won't be tight enough anymore. And yeah, and Lance was a little bit all right. Calm the fuck down. And now that I watched this, I'm like, be thankful I said that, Lan, and not what Chris Penn said in Reservoir Dogs here, because that would have really fucked his stream.
Yeah,
I might do it next week. Who knows? No, I won't. I won't. I've already done it on here. I can do it on my streams. If it fucks up my streams, that's my fault. That's my responsibility.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, fucking honey bun
vibes. Yeah,
you watch our streams, you'll get the honey bun joke. It's a prison rape joke from Toxic himself. Oh man. But obviously they get a little bit, But now,
this is where he's like talking about, you know, the daddy. Like, let's just throwing it out there. Let's just listen. I'm throwing an idea here. Why don't we get this guy? We know we can trust him. Let's get him involved. And this is how Mr. Blonde gets involved in the heist.
I know, because Joe's very against the idea of using guys that he's really, really close with, I'm guessing. But Eddie decides, no, let's have him on there anyway because I trust him and he's been out but fucking good for our family. So if him being on this job may be more of a good look for us.
Yeah. Lucky my ass.
Yeah. I love that they're going to scam his fucking parole officer as well. Like, they'll have him working at say they're working at the docks, but he's not doing fuck all. You know, he can be somewhere else. And if the parole officer shows up, there's like saying, oh, you just missed him. He's had to do deliveries at another place, all on the other side of the country, some shit like that. And let's move on a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking
because they agreed. Yeah, because they agreed that he's going to be part of the heist here.
I know. He's got to keep his parole officer on good terms as well to avoid being thrown back in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously business hasn't been doing the best, even though they've been having a little bit of a laugh about it. They probably do need this job to happen as well to get their racket back on track, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And yeah, they ask him, do you want to do the job? And he's like, I feel great about it. And he's got that smile as well. You gotta love that smile.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like his laugh as well. It's like, and yeah, obviously we get a little bit of a break from the talking now. We've got a bit of action. We've got this fucking cool, funky song playing while Chris Penn as Eddie's trying to find out what the fuck's happening. Everyone's going fucking nuts. And now we're cutting back and forth to them beating up this fucking copper as well, trying to find out who's grassed them up.
And I think this actor, this guy, that this is his first role. And I don't think he did anything afterwards after this role.
I don't think he did. I think he was, I have a feeling that he was Tarantino's friend and he just kind of did it as a bit of a favor to him as well. But he seems to do a fucking good acting job. He really does. He really does play. You do actually feel sorry for this guy.
Oh yeah,
the film. Yeah, I like how Mr. Pig just punches him, and he's like fucking. He's actually nursing his hand after as well, because you're hitting someone in the fucking face. It's practically bone against bone, so it's gonna hurt. But it's Mr. Pig that fucking shakes his hand in. So he's obviously not the toughest guy out of them, is he? But he's but he probably is a good little thief. And now nice guy is still wondering what the fuck's going on, and now
he's like, pissed.
Yeah. Everyone's really at each other as well, and
because they're talking about who's the rat, and he's like, "There's no rat. There's no rat." Yeah,
I know. And yeah, Eddie's actually being a fucking dumbass here because it's obvious, like they're telling them that they have legitimate reasons that there is a rat. They've given them reasons that we know why, because this happened and that happened. The cops came too soon after this happened, and Eddie's like, fuck off. There's no setup. It's like, no, listen to these guys. They were there. And obviously Joe hasn't had a chance to fucking find out what's happening here, and he's trying to find out himself. Everyone is trying to find out what's happening. It's basically just less than 2 hours of people figuring out what the fuck is happening.
And then he's talking about going to get a doctor.
Yeah, they're going to get a doctor for him as well.
We got to move these cars because it looks like Sam's parking. parking lot out there, and we got to move those because that's going to bring too much heat. And then he's making arrangements for Mr. Blonde to watch over this cop and Mr. Orange.
Yeah, and obviously, beating him's a bad idea as well because he could just fucking say anything just to stop the process.
Yeah, this part right here, he beat him long enough.
Yeah. So now he's told him that he's got the stones and that he's got it stashed, and now they're going to try and go for it now. And now Mr. Blonde's left to babysit for him, and it's not going to be fucking good anyway. Obviously, they do a smart thing of not being in the same. No, there was a deleted scene where they're in the car at the same time. But it was cut out, and I can see why, because it's basically just Larry going on, we need to get him to a fucking doctor, and we've heard this already in this scene already, so we don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
But Larry White's trying to explain what happened, and that Mr. Blonde went all psycho, and obviously Eddie's in total denial about this. He's like, what the fuck do you mean that he's a psycho? And yeah, and he reacts the whole scene, and this is kind of his reason why everyone went fucking crazy as well. It's he told him not to touch the fucking alarm. So yeah, maybe he does.
He's so calm about it.
I know. I told them not to touch the alarm. They did.
Yeah.
If I had told them not to do what they did, they'd still be alive. It's like, I don't like alarms, Mr. White. Yeah, I think he was a little bit, despite being a fucking psycho, I think it was the fear of being thrown back in prison as well that got him a little bit. So, but at the same time, if you're telling them not to do something and they're doing it, you got to show you're serious as well. But yeah, he's definitely unhinged, though. He really is.
He's just calculated.
Yeah. I know he is.
Like, although this is like one of the most iconic scenes ever.
It is. I know, because this could have been really, really insanely boring with just these guys talking, but they'd give plenty of moments that make you come back. And I think Tarantino knew it. Like it could be boring if it was just these guys talking. So we've got to give them something that will make them remember this movie and keep coming back to it. And this is definitely one of those scenes.
Yeah, like he's like he I think this is the part where he pulls out the blade, turns on the radio. He's just like take his time with everything. The intensity's ratcheting up. Like it's just like it's amazing how Tarantino plays with this.
Yeah. I know, and once again, he's so fucking smooth as well with when he's psychotic. He is. I believe that, Toxic. I think there's another one here. So let's get this one. The cop, Kirk Bolts, has been in almost 3 dozen TV shows and films, including Face Off and Natural Born Killers.
Okay.
I'll have to have a look.
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember him in those because he's just not a name that you hear anywhere. He's just kind of one of those accessory actors, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and obviously Mr. Blonde doesn't fucking care if this guy knows anything or not. He's going to fucking torture him anyway. Yeah, and I think he does seem to like it a little bit. I wonder if being in prison might have given him a little bit of taste for fucking torture and mutilation, something like that. His prison changes, man. I used to be white. Yeah. Obviously,
he plays a good cop there, though. Like the panic in him is really good.
Yeah, he's just a fucking guy he's just another fucking Bobby on the beat who's been forced into this fucking really incredibly intense situation here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same boat the Brad uses in Kill Bill. So yeah, the crocodile boat seems to be a big staple in Tarantino movies. These guys, plus these are old school men as well. Yeah, cowboy boats with fucking suits and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the cutthroat razor, and once again, K. Billy Super Sounds of the 70s comes on. Nice little tidbit that fleshes this well down. I love how Stephen Wright calls it a Dylan-esque pop bubblegum favorite, and yeah, I think the band Steelers Wheel was trying to sort of parody Bob Dylan a bit when they did this song. And he's checking on Mr. Orange as well, see if he's not conscious to see this.
It's just Stephen Wright the way he says it, like
Yeah.
1974
Bubble
feels,
gum
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Very funny guy, Stephen Wright. Very, very
Yeah.
funny guy. The producers really wanted the ear slicing scene removed from the film. Strange given the fact that you don't actually see him do it. Yeah, because sometimes what you build up in your head can be 10 times worse than what you see. I mean,
I love that.
I know. And I think Tarantino has sort of gone a little bit more graphic later on in the movies, and sometimes it is actually pretty cool to watch. Other times I'm thinking, all right, just you don't have to show every single bit or every time. You know, we have an imagination, and you know, it sometimes is more powerful.
Well, it's just the sound you hear from him, like like he's like
Yeah.
at the, and it's just you can hear the gushing, like it just adds to it. Oh,
Yeah.
this part is
He just fucking I want to get those fucking moves down. I try my best every time. Every time I went to Father's nightclubs and they played this fucking song, I tried to get those moves down a little bit, but I'm too fucking drunk to actually get the coordination, so I fuck off.
I totally agree with Donnie Bass. This is why Gen X isn't so sensitive. Yeah, I totally agree with you on that.
And it does the smart thing here as well. The camera does what the audience does. It looks away. And then it's saying what Captain, let's get a full screen so I can see it properly.
Oh yeah.
That's it. I want you to Tony, watch your head. That's it. Yeah, it's a very funny joke as well. A guy's getting his ear sliced off and you're at this fucking sound. It's Tarantino's dark sense of humor. And once again, you don't see it, but it's still not nice to look at as well, seeing a severed ear in his hand.
I love that he talks into the ear. Like that's something the Joker would do. Like you would see that, like just like insane criminals like the Joker or
it's definitely got a sick sense of humor.
I love how the camera follows him though.
I know. You're wondering what the fuck he's gonna do next. It's like, wait, what is he leaving for? I mean, is he going somewhere? But no.
Yeah.
And it brings more dread, doesn't it? Because
and I love how he's looking around the neighborhood and he's just like being casual about it, just to see if anyone's watching.
Oh, thank you, Anime King. That's very nice of you.
Yo, Anime, what's up, brother?
Yeah, have you subscribed to both of us yet? Probably have done. I've just done a chance to check on who else has subscribed to me. I'm getting a couple of new ones. But yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying yourselves. And let's carry on with the film. Once again, it does bring a sense of dread. It's like a build-up. You're wondering what's happening. Then he pulls out the fucking can of gas, and it's like fucking you know what he's gonna do. He's not gonna he's really fucking panicking now because it's not a fucking nice way to fucking burn to death. You feel that shit.
I love this. Y'all through? Like he's just so calm about it. It's so eerie. It's just like, oh my god, like this guy is
are you gonna stop whining so I can burn you to death? It's fucked up. And yet this is a bit that I think Michael Madsen was a little bit hesitant about doing as well, because I think Michael Madsen had just become a father when this film came out as well. So I think he was a little hesitant about this scene, but thankfully he doesn't do it because Mr. Orange fucking guns him down. He wakes up just in time to save him.
Which I want to go back because like when he's lying down, when he gets laid down, you see him with the gun still in his hand.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is he still hanging on to the gun? Like, you know, he's the cop, but like, why is he still hanging on to the gun the whole time? Like, I would be putting my hand on the wound, but you're with guys you can't trust. So I get that part. He's like, go ahead there.
I must have missed a shot, because even when he's empty, he's still holding the gun at him, ready to shoot Mr. Bond again if he gets up. But I don't know if he noticed that it was empty because he was so delirious from the blood loss and he's not totally thinking straight. Maybe a little bit. Maybe I don't know.
I think it was his safety piece because he didn't know if they were going to just kill him off because like he's been shot. Like he didn't know if they're going to drop him off the hospital. Like he so much must be going through his head, and and then he's also going through shock and blood loss. So like,
Yeah.
it like the way they portray this role, like Tim Roth just nails it, like unbelievably.
Yeah, because he looks a little sleepy here as well. Like he's really trying to keep himself awake because you lose a lot of blood, you're drifting in and out of consciousness, aren't you? And he's fucking relieved. He's all bloody, and this is when you found out, if you hadn't guessed it already, that he is a cop. He is the snitch. And it turns out they have met each other before, but he doesn't remember him.
Marvin Nash, which is Marvin's also used in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, Marvin. Oh yeah, I shot Marvin.
You killed Marvin. You killed Marvin. You killed it. Yeah, I got his brains all over me.
Yeah, I need to do Pulp Fiction again one day.
Yeah.
And
this part when he's just like asking him, "How do I look?" This guy's dying on the slope there, and he's worried about how he looks. and then you see Mr. Orange just tee off on him.
I know he's real trauma. You can see there's a little bit of trauma in him now as well from that experience. Because how often do you have a fucking psycho slice your ear off? That's got to be fucking petrifying. That's going to affect you. That.
Oh yeah.
And now Mr. Orange has told him there's blocks waiting to move in a block away, and he's like, "Wait, fucking show up now, mate! Please get me out of here! I just had my ear fucking sliced off here. I almost got burnt to death." And Mr. Orange he is actually justified in having this little outrage as well, because he's fucking dying here, and he wants the cops to show up just as soon as Marvin does, because if he doesn't get any help soon, he's going to be fucking dead. Now we come to Mr. Orange in the past, and look at him walk through that fucking little restaurant with his fucking swagger. Yeah,
same restaurant they used in Pulp Fiction. And
yes, they did.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Mr. White took his extra mag to blast the cops. So this is where we go back a little bit more further into the past, and this is where we found out that he's inside with Joe and his team, and they're going to find out how they're going to crack him. And we get this other copper here, and he's obviously a much more veteran cop. Yeah,
Detective Holdaway.
Yeah. So I wonder if he's like an older cop who's been showing him the ropes on how to be an undercover cop and how to do it real well. Because, I don't know if this get up he's wearing is part of his undercover job, or if he actually does dress like this every day, because he's got a Che Guevara hat, hasn't he? That little socialist one here. So is he undercover with some militant group or some militant socialists, or is he really part of that socialistic group? I don't know. But I know it's like a one thing that a lot of indie bands were probably into as well, for some reason. So now he's telling them that Joe wants him to meet him for a job.
Yeah, he's Mr. Orange.
Yep.
And he calls him the Thing, like from Fantastic Four.
Yeah, that comes up later, that as well, but yeah. And they're finding out about Mr. White, and he's like from Milwaukee. They might have a sheet on him, and there is a deleted scene where it is established, but it's been cut out of the film, and obviously you can see why it probably does cut into the pacing a little bit. So. I know,
Long Beach Mike.
Long Beach Mike. So obviously this guy's he's probably a fucking snitch that gave him info. So to answer the question, Donny Bass, that's the snitch. That's the snitch that was giving information on why they have an undercover cop in the gang. So he probably told him that there's a job going down with Joe, and I'll try and get you in there with him. And obviously, he seems to assume that Long Beach Mike is a good guy, but no, Holloway's like, no, he's a fucking scumbag. He's selling out everyone he can for his own end. I'll sort this guy out. Then we come to this bit, the commode story.
Yes, it's fantastic.
I know. Now we seem to go a little further back now.
That's why I ask about the
Yeah.
method, because it's like I feel like he's like doing a method role here upon his method acting in the movie. It's like I feel like it's like that's because Tim Roth is like his role is so well done.
Yeah, there's a naturalism to it as well.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't know if he stopped doing method before he did this film, or if he was still doing that this time. Because I know he only did it for a short while and stopped doing it because he just got tired of it and he wanted to just rely on his instincts. So yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's good of him because I don't think you always need to go method to get into the character. You just play the part as well as you can and as knowledgeable as you can.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he's obviously not happy about having to do this story because it's 4 fucking pages long. He has to memorize it all and he has to get it all right. And he's like, no, you don't need to do everything right. Just memorize the important bits and tell it in your own way. Yeah, because if he tells it exactly how it is, it might come across scripted and not natural.
Eddie Bunker came up with this story, the Commode story. I did not know.
Damn man. Eddie Bunker's. I need to watch more Eddie Bunker. I've seen interviews with a guy, and he's a fucking funny guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So obviously the story takes place in the bathroom, and they got to go through all the details. I mean, if they're telling about this bathroom and the location, the details have to be fucking right because there's always a chance that they may have been in that bathroom and they know those details as well.
Yeah, this is the part where he talks about the soap. Is it like the pink powder soap? Is it the used in school?
Yeah.
So this part right here, why I said he talks about the Thing. He has the Silver Surfer and the Marvel stuff. Yeah, he's obviously like a Marvel comic fan because he brings it up.
And it's obviously a kid in the 70s as well because these posters look very, very retro.
That's why I think this movie's like in the late 80s. Like it's set for the 80s. And we know it came out in 92, but that's why I think it's like kind of built in the 80s because it just seems like a lot.
I think it was written in the 80s though. I mean, because a lot of scripts are like fucking old school.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like True Romance as well. Like when Alabama talks about her favorite movie stars, like she like a turn on Mickey Rourke, and her favorite actor is Burt Reynolds. Well, that wasn't because she's a cool chick into vintage stuff. No, this was because the script was written in the fucking 80s, back when Burt Reynolds was a big fucking star, and Mickey Rourke was like this big sex symbol before he got his face all fucked up. And yeah, he's obviously going through it like he's doing what actors do, like going through the script so it starts to become repetitive, and once it becomes repetitive, you know every single detail off by heart, and it's something actors do while rehearsing. And now he's getting a chance to show. Really, now this is like the big play now. He's actually in front of an audience. He's showing if he can get in there or not with them.
Well, he even references like back in '86, a couple of years ago, when there was no pot anywhere. So that's why I think this movie set in in '88.
And that's the thing, though. You could still set it in '88 or the Nazis, and it wouldn't really matter anyway because Tarantino films always have this distinct look, don't they? Like, it's set in modern day, but at the same time, everything looks a little bit old school too. The way the clothes, the style, the music, everything. Yeah, Tarantino's a very 1960s kind of guy, I'm guessing. Because he's big on Elvis.
Well, yeah, because he loves that California '60s surfing music too.
I know. Yeah, and obviously because he's grown up in the '60s and he's influenced by a lot of these old directors like Sergio Corbucci and Leone and Sam Peckinpah and all that lot.
Yeah. And
he's obviously he's coming off natural as well. He doesn't come across like a guy trying to get in there with these criminals. He actually does. Yeah, I'd be fucking convinced by this as well. And look, they're loving this story. They're charmed by this guy. And they're fascinated, and they cannot help but keep on listening to what he's saying. And then we come to like it's basically like a false flashback in a way, isn't it? Because he's telling the story, but is it, and this would be a lot more boring if it was just him in the nightclub telling this story. But no, we get this really good little false sort of imagery conjured up by the story that he's telling. And yeah, he's in the bathroom. He's got this weed on him, and the fucking dog's barking on him, and yeah, and it's a good little story. It gets your audience intrigued because you're wondering, shit, you're in a sticky situation. How the fuck did you get out of this?
Yeah, Mr. White's loving it.
Yeah, and I love the little cameras as well, where he's just talking about how panic is drenching me, and yeah, I just want to get the fuck out of there. And it just makes it more immersive as well. Like it's obviously like it's going around him, like he's imagining the whole room himself while saying it.
Well, it's you're in a tense situation. You're undercover selling a story to some mob boss and his henchmen. And you're telling a story that's very intense to these guys.
It's bringing the imagery as well.
Yeah, the build is just amazing.
Yeah, and I like these coppers as well. I mean, obviously they tell the dog to shut the fuck up, even though he's warning them that the
put your hands up, or I'm going to shoot you in the face.
Buddy, I'm going to shoot you in the face. If you don't take your fucking hand off the dashboard. I love that. I love that. I don't know who this guy is though, but I wonder if Mr. Orange might have overheard cops saying this sometime when he was working at the station, and decided to use this in his commode story as well, just as something to add a little bit more color to the story, make it feel more real. Yeah, that's what I'm guessing anyway. And these guys are pretty fucking funny as well. And then this guy's girlfriend, this real sexy
these guys were in Pulp Fiction too. The sheriffs. I just looked it up. Yeah, they were in Pulp Fiction apparently.
Well, whereabouts? I mean, I know. Zed was one of these sheriffs, wasn't he? But I don't think I might have seen him in Pulp. I need to watch it again. Fucking hell, it's been a while.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
And not only that, it gets a bit of respect from Joe as well. It's like, yeah, you fucking was in a sticky situation, but you made it through. You kept your cool, and you know what? We'll have you for the job because we need someone like you for it. And I think Mr. Orange actually does like these guys a little bit as well. Is
right there? He motherfucker
looks like the thing.
Yeah.
Now they're getting a call because because they need him to be at this meeting for him.
Stakeout.
Yeah, and there's cops waiting for him outside as well, but we don't know that yet. And he's obviously getting ready.
He puts on a wedding ring here. He goes to the jar, and I'm like,
yeah, it's never established as well, but Tarantino put it in there just to give the audience something to talk about. Like, okay, is he married and he's had to move out somewhere new until this whole case is over, or has he lost his wife and he keeps it as something for sentimental reasons?
I want to think that he's probably got divorced because of his job. How he's so invested into his job. Yeah,
because I mean, you're on a fucking job where you're required to be up all sorts of hours and you're not there for your family all the time, and there's always a chance you might not make it back, and your wife will have to grieve you and your kids will be without a dad. But yeah, it's a nice little moment as well where it's just a calm moment. There's no jokes, there's no dick jokes or anything like that. It's just someone just having a little moment to himself, just to be human. And just before he leaves as well, he looks into the mirror and he's got to pep himself up because there's always a chance that his cover could be blown and he could be killed. And I think that's why he takes the guns with him as well, just in case.
That cereal box in the back, the Brute cereal there. I've never even heard of that. Yeah, I've never heard of that.
I've never heard of that as well. I'm guessing that's a discontinued brand then. But it could be a fake brand as well. It could be a fake one because I think Tarantino likes to put fake brands in his films, like Red Apple cigarettes, something like that.
It's also in Pulp Fiction, Fruity Brute.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's a fake brand then. Obviously, the coppers are outside because they're obviously going to tail him as well. Find out, just to make sure nothing's going wrong, and they got found. I think they're trying to find out where they're going to meet up as well, just in case. And I think that is the case as well because they're already waiting outside the warehouse, aren't they? Waiting for the right opportunity to grab the whole crew.
So that Fruit Brute cereal, sorry, is part of that monster cereals like Count Chocula, Berry, Frankenberry, Boo Berry, and Fruit Brute was part of that.
Ah, so what was it? An actual brand then?
Yeah, it's an
Oh,
actual
fuck.
brand,
All right, I thought it was a fake one because I think
and
Tarantino's not a
it's
big fan of
apparently
the real
it's
ones.
yeah, and apparently it's in Pulp Fiction as well, and that's hilarious.
Yeah, thank you, CLS. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying yourselves. I hope everyone else is as well. And I do like this scene as well. It's a nice little another little moment where it's just these two guys just chilling out talking. It's just a little mundane conversation, but it's a very funny story that sounds very natural as well. And obviously, yeah, what a white bitch will put up with, a black bitch wouldn't put up with for a minute.
So,
I think so.
so
Yeah,
here's a little piece for you there. Sorry,
yeah.
Fruity Brute was replaced in 1988, so that would have been
So yeah, that is a so yeah. There's probably set in the
yeah,
late
so,
80s then.
yeah, late 80s, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And they would never get away with this fucking in films like this today. Using the N word so excessively as well. But a lot of people fucking
This
talk like that though.
yeah,
I know. People who are
this
racist
scene
going on. Yeah,
this scene here, I always feel like he always almost blew his cover here by saying, "Well, what did he do? What do you mean by he did shit to her?"
yeah,
I feel like he almost blew his cover there because he's talking about the cocktail waitress. Louise.
yeah. Elois. They say
Hey,
Elois, don't
Lois.
they?
Yeah,
Yeah, they call her Lady E.
right
So yeah,
here.
like
Yeah,
like he's acting like a bit of a cop now, isn't he? Like he's because
yeah.
like a crime has happened, someone's been done great harm to. So, but obviously they just pass it off like he's just a little concerned, isn't he? Maybe. I like this little joke from Ladera Heights. It's like the Black Beverly Hills, and it's like, no, it's fucking not. It's like the Black Palos Verdes. So, yeah, and then once again they throw a little reference to some old school TV show they used to watch as well. And I don't think I've ever seen Christy Love. I know Pam Grier is as well. I mean, Pam Grier is just would later be on Jackie Brown as well after a long time of not getting any big roles after the whole black exploitation thing started to die down.
Pam Grier.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that Pam Grier. I think Pam Grier saw this, and this was what decided to put her in. She wanted to star in Jackie Brown. She almost starred in Pulp Fiction as well. Apparently, she was playing one of Lance's girlfriends, but Tarantino decided not to have her in it because when Lance was talking shit to her, she takes it, and Pam Grier would never do that, according to Tarantino. So that's why he let her put her in. So he said, "I'm going to save you for another movie, right? The next movie, I'm going to make you the lead." And and it was a smart decision because Pam Grier should never play a passive woman. She'd always play a woman that doesn't take no shit. And yes, God King, Pam Grier and Jackie Brown was fucking gorgeous. She really was.
Oh yeah, she was
Yeah.
a beautiful lady.
Yeah. I think she still looks a little bit good now. She's in her 70s. She's getting a little old now, but she's still got. There's still something.
Oh,
about
I
her.
agree. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think she's an attractive woman.
Yeah. And it comes to the story about
The
the husband
gluing.
used the dick to the fucking stomach. It's like
Yeah. You gotta stand on your head to piss. Yeah.
yeah.
It's great.
Then we get all serious though. Joe's like being serious. You guys like to sit around, giggle like a kid, giggle like a bunch of schoolgirls. But then you see 5 guys sitting in the pen in San Quentin saying, "Oh, it's your fault, it's my fault." And suddenly someone realizes, wait a minute, maybe we didn't plan this enough and we're too busy fucking around. And so he's letting them know that if you fuck about, this is gonna go wrong. We need you to be dead serious and focused on this job. And even though I'm serious, when this caper's over, I will be having a good laugh with you as well. I'll be a lot more laid back. And yeah, it's kind of he's kind of right to do so because he's in charge of this and that he is basically the boss, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he's telling them how to do this a bit smartly. Like these guys don't know each other, so last thing we want to do is have any of the other guys know anything personal about you. Otherwise, it could mean trouble, especially if one of you is arrested.
I love how he talks about that like 3/4 of the way through the movie, knowing that Mr. White told Mr. Orange his name is Larry, and like you come back to it later in the movie. It's fantastic how Quentin wrote this script. I love how there's a lot of circle backs.
I know. And it shows that these characters are kind of very smart. They aren't just half-assing it, are they? They actually are trying to make sure this thing goes well without, and that the backs are covered if something does go wrong a little bit here. And I love the names as well: Mr. Blue, Mr. Orange, and Mr. Pink. Well, why am I Mr.
Why
Pink?
am I Mr. Pink? Well, I'll trade you. I'll be. I'll trade you. I'll take Mr. Blonde. You could be Mr. Pink. No one's trading. No one's.
I know.
You're Mr. Pink.
Yeah, I know. Because it's just causing more fucking arguments, and then the swap names, and it all becomes confusing. And it's like, and you know, we can't pick. No, you're not going to pick your own colors. I pick the colors, all right. If you pick your own colors, you're going to be fucking. There's always a chance there could be indecisive as well. It's like, I liked having Mr. Purple, but I think I want to be Mr. White now. Come on, it's like, no. One guy decides, you fucking accept it no matter what. I like the fact that they're a little bit childish as well. It's like they're all insecure. Like Mr. Brown's a little too close to Mr. Shit.
Well, Mr. Pink sounds too close to pussy. Yeah, it's so well done.
Yeah, obviously it's not Mr. Purple because there's another guy in another job with a name. So, and it is also good as well when someone says pink or blue. They're going to be looking for someone whose criminal record is pink or blue or brown because and then and they're gonna come up with the wrong people or no one at all. And yeah, Mr. White does have the best sounding name. I like Mr. Blonde as well. I think Mr. Blonde is a cool name. And I like how he just backs down as well. It's like, all right, Mr. Pink, it's not a big deal. It's just a name. Fuck it.
This one, I love this line where he's talking about they're going over the heist here, so they're talking about who's doing what.
Yeah, and it shows a bit of professionalism as well. Like they have to keep going over it as well. Like once again, like with the Commode story, you go over it till it becomes repetitive, and when it's repetitive, it becomes very. It almost becomes second nature. Like you've already got it memorized.
I love how it leads into the bank manager. He always wants to be a Charles Bronson motherfucker. And,
that's the thing. You're not supposed to fucking fight back. You're insured. It's not worth getting your fucking jaw broken or fucking fingers chopped off or anything like that. But like sometimes you will get someone who wants to be a hero and walk back down. Yeah, just after time, just let them fucking take the stones, let the police investigate, and you get insurance. You don't lose your pay, and the business doesn't go downhill.
You take the butt end of your gun and
smash it against his nose.
His nose.
We've seen him be human as well, but we've shown that when he's had to be a bit fucking more of a monster, like at least that dark side to him. Just to show
and it's also you see the character, the relationship building between the two.
Yeah.
So like, while this is all happening, because you're kind of like you're still second guessing, like why is Mr. White bonding with Mr. Orange so much? But now you see it as the movie goes through. There's like the story when Mr. Orange is telling the story. Mr. White's there with Joe and nice guy Eddie. You see him. They're doing the intel, and they're going over everything repetitively together. Like they have a relationship. He gets shot. So now you understand why Mr. White has that bond with Mr. Orange.
And plus, I kind of get the idea that Mr. Orange is on his first undercover job as well. I get that's the vibe I'm getting with him as well. Like he seems like he's coming across as a new criminal as well, who's never done a robbery. He's mostly just done fucking weed dealing and all that lot. And I think Larry kind of sees a little bit of himself in Mr. Orange as well. That's why he's sort of bonding with him a little bit and then trying to take him on and show him the ropes here. And this is definitely a scene where he's showing him the ropes. Like if a manager gives you trouble, this is what you do. This is how you show you mean business towards
I think
him.
I think you're right, because I think it's the magnitude of like Joe, because Joe, they talk about Joe being the leader of the family, and
Yeah.
he's obviously he's a huge criminal, because that's who they want to get, Holiday and Mr. Orange there. So he's probably like shitting his pants that he's involved with this scene. You're probably right. He's probably done some smaller, detective work and some undercover shit.
Yeah.
But this one's huge. This is the big one.
Yeah, no, and it's obviously like, because this guy's pretty much a fucking, Joe's pretty much a fucking mobster, isn't he? Probably not the most successful mobster at the moment, like he was successful, but they even say that business has been going bad a little bit. So, yeah.
Well, I'm hungry. Let's get a
Let's go
taco.
taco.
I love this because he's talking about cutting a guy's pinky finger off. And then he goes, and if that doesn't work, you threaten him to cut off his thumb, and he'll tell you if he wears ladies' underwear.
Yeah.
At that
Yeah,
point.
it's so part of the job now, isn't it? It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, you get people that fucking embalm dead bodies, don't you? Sucking out all the gunk out of them, and then after that, they take the aprons off, they go out and get lunch and go back to the families, don't they? It's funny how we just become numb to the ugliness of the world if you delve into it deep enough. And now it's obviously after the robbery, they're trying to get the fuck out, and Mr. Brown has been injured, and I didn't know if he fucking bashed his head and he fucking died from some kind of concussion, or maybe if he did get shot in the head and the bullet just took a while to kill him.
Yeah, it was a shot to the head, because they said that.
Oh yeah, they say he shot. Yeah, they say he got shot in the head.
Yeah.
I know, and it's it looks like the bullet didn't go through either. It's like, but it's obviously fucking killing him off pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And he's blind as well. I'm guessing it was the bullet wound that's got him blind as well. Like it's killed off the senses to his eyesight. But Mr. Orange is trying to reassure him, saying, "You just got blood in your eyes. You're going to be fine." More coppers come. Fucking Mr. White just fucking unloads on him.
Great shot.
I know. It's like dual pistol wheeling them, everything. And yeah, it's damn, man. They did not fuck about on the squibs here.
No.
And look at the look on Mr. Orange's face as well. He's he's not happy to see that happening.
Yeah, his brother getting shot like that,
and it's all on his eyes as well.
He's wearing sunglasses, but you feel it. Yeah, you feel it just with his mannerism there. It's just like you feel the emotion from him, and he's also in shock because he's looking at Mr. Brown and he's dead, and so like there's death all around him. It's like he's kind of stunned. Like, I don't think he's experienced this much.
I know. And it's looking like he might not experience much after as well when this film is finished. So Brown's dead. Yeah, and
Mr. White has to like grab him and like, guide him too.
Yeah,
that's the other piece.
Yeah, try and get him back in. Yeah, try and get him back on track. And they're just about to carjack, and Mr. Orange gets fucking capped in the stomach by just a fucking ordinary woman, though, a carjacking, and he's had to kill her as well. An innocent woman who was trying to defend herself. Yeah. Then we come back to the end now.
Yeah, it's great.
Everyone's made it back. They've seen they're wondering what the fuck has happened. Why is Mr. Blonde fucking being capped? And yeah, he's pissed. He's really pissed. He's just seen his best friend. He's seen the fucking dead body of his best friend here.
Yeah, he's trying to sell a story to him, and he's just like, "You're trying to tell me that this guy here, this cop here," and then and then he's like, he
fucking kills him.
Yeah, Mr. Orange starts telling him what happened, and he's just like, "Yeah, you're telling me that this guy who went to prison for years and got out, didn't say he got offered numerous deals, turned everyone down to keep our family safe. You're telling me now he's gonna like turn on us?" Like, he gets really intense here.
I know, because because he refuses to believe that someone was who
Yeah.
actually went to jail for him is fucking just gonna backstab him straight away. But Mr. Orange, he's trying to use what convenient story he can because he's seen how psychotic Mr. Blonde can be, and he's using that to his advantage as a way to try and prevent his cover from being blown. And Mr. White obviously bars it because he doesn't know Mr. Blonde, but he's seen what he's capable of doing.
And if that scene before, you see Mr. Pink, he's seen the ear there. You could tell that he's just kind of disgusted about the whole thing.
I know. And yeah, obviously, Eddie just will refuse to believe it. Like you said, he went to jail for his fucking dad and him, and he never backstabbed him or anything. He never took any deals. And now he's starting. He's real suspicious of Mr. Orange right now. He really is. And now Joe comes in and is like, he seems to be more sure that it was Mr. Orange that fucking set everyone up. And we're starting to wonder, oh shit, how did he find out? Mr. White's wondering what's happening as well. And once again, Larry's getting all emotional about it. He refuses to believe that Mr. Orange is a fucking cop. And that maybe Joe is overreacting a little bit. He's a little bit emotional that this one big score that could help their business get back on track has gone tits up. And yeah, I love that little line as well. As like they found out Mr. Blue is dead, and Joe's like, he's dead as Dillinger. And if you know your movies, you know Lawrence Tierney played Dillinger once in the 1940s.
Yeah.
I know. I ain't seen the film yet, but I saw a little clip as well in the band. I need to check that film out properly. He was real fucking young there as well. He was very young. But he still has that fucking mean looking face as well, despite this he had these bright blue eyes as well with this very mean face. It's brilliant. Nice little contrast. And why does he think Mr. Orange is a snitch? Because it's just instinct. Yeah. It's the only one I wasn't 100% on.
The Mexican standoff here is great.
Yeah, the first Tarantino Mexican standoff. Oh, is it True Romance since that film came out? No, I think that came out a year after. So yeah, the first Tarantino Mexican standoff, and something which will be a big staple of the Tarantino tropes as well as in the movies that go by. Yeah, and obviously Mr. White's prepared to shoot Joe if he kills Mr. Orange because he's built this bond up over with him. Mr. Pink's once again trying to be the voice of reason here. He doesn't want anyone to fucking die at the same time. He doesn't want anyone to fucking die, and at the same time, he doesn't want anyone fucking up either. He wants everything to be calm so they can sort this situation out. But never mind. Everyone just fucking shoots each other, and Mr. Pink is like, "Fuck this. These guys, they made their own mess. I'm fucking out of here. I tried my best for them, so fuck them. I'm taking the diamonds and making it out."
I can't remember. Does he have a shootout with cops as he's leaving, or does he get away?
I don't know.
Because you hear the cops come in, but it's like I think like a minute after.
Did he get fucking grabbed as well as soon as he walked out the fucking warehouse?
I love not knowing. That's a great thing. Yeah.
I think there was a tagline that said most of these characters will die, one won't. So I don't know if he maybe did escape, but he's holding the fucking case with the diamonds and the coppers are outside. They've got to have grabbed him. He's in possession of stolen diamonds, so obviously they've got him, haven't they? That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And then, and it's looking like I like how Larry's kind of accepting the fact that he might. Tarantino said no one made it out. Yeah, so Mr. Pink did get.
What I thought.
Yeah, he got nicked.
I think he had a gun. He tried to shoot his way out of it, and you hear the gunshots, and then you hear the sirens.
Yeah.
You hear more sirens coming.
Oh, maybe I might have to fucking turn the sound up on my TV then. I didn't think I heard of that. Yeah, there was. Yeah, the video game actually did show a lot of like the robbery and everything, but I've not played it. I was meaning to play it though. I've got no PS2 at home still, so I might have a look at it in the the second-hand game shops if I can. So Yeah, and obviously everyone's fucking dead apart from Larry and Mr. Orange now, and Mr. Pink's fucking just fucking legged it. And what does Mr. Orange do? He fucking tells him. He tells him, it's like, yeah, you've done that, but stand up for me. You've risked your fucking life in front of people who you've trusted all these years, and I got to be honest with you, Gooch.
Yep.
Oh, there you are,
I'm
man.
here.
There you are. You
Yeah.
went a bit quiet
Yeah.
then. Fucking hell.
Yeah. I couldn't hear anything, and then all of a sudden I came back on. I was just
Oh,
like,
did it?
what? Yeah.
Ah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
this part, I love this part because it's full circle, coming back to being on the slope, bleeding out.
Yeah.
Then he tells him, he confesses. This is amazing how
I know.
the scene sets up. And then, yeah, he pulls the gun, and then the cops rush in and just start yelling at him. And
I know. And he's kind of angry as well because he loves this kid, but at the same time, he's killed his oldest friend as well, who actually tried to fucking tell him. Who actually, yeah. And yeah, I do get why Mr. Orange fucking told him, because he did stand up for him constantly, and he felt he owed him it. And you look at the face on Harvey Keitel, he just fucking sells it.
Yeah, like he killed his best friends basically.
Yeah, and he killed Mr. Orange.
Trusting this kid that he's gone through so much with.
Yeah,
he must have so much regret and so much frustration, and like
I know.
there's so much going on there.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
And I think he did kill him as well. I think he did.
Yeah, he shot him in the head for sure. He shot him in the head, and like people always say, like, how come Mr. Orange was still alive at the point? Because he got shot in the shoulder, so he wasn't a kill shot.
Yeah. And yeah, he gets fucking gunned down as well, because they didn't start shooting him till he shot. Yeah, and it just ends. It's a fucking downer ending though, but it's a good film.
Great film. This is like a top 5 for me.
I know, and it's such a small budget as well, and all you needed, and it shows you don't need a big fucking budget for every single film, and you just need some good actors, some good fucking crew, people who are very resourceful, who can think on their feet if it becomes a little bit more difficult to get what they need, and obviously, and the fact that it's in a warehouse, and it's obviously a real warehouse as well, because you see Mr. Blonde come in and out as well of it. So,
well, it's almost Shakespearean. This film,
yeah,
like,
it is.
It's incredibly well done. To me, it's my favorite Tarantino film. I know a lot of people love like his other films, like Django Unchained, or
I think Pulp Fiction is my favorite Tarantino film, because there is a little bit more action. Yeah, but I think, and then Jackie Brown is definitely one that's become very. I think it started off underrated, but now I think it's getting a little bit more of it's getting more love than it used to back when it first came out.
Yeah, those are my top 3, and then everything after that.
Yeah.
True Romance is number 4. I love True Romance.
I know. I think it might be the best Tarantino film per se, because there's always a danger when Tarantino overemphasizes his characters and the dialogue scenes going too long. But with True Romance, you get some good pacing as well as the smart dialogue as well. So,
and Christopher Walken.
yeah, Christopher Walken.
Yeah,
you got loads of stars, fucking James Gandolfini and Christian Slater and fucking Dennis Hopper and Brad Pitt as a fucking stoner. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful film. Beautiful film. I love it. And there's not much I can say anything else about it though. It's got a good rocking soundtrack. It's definitely got this style that's evolved over the years since Tarantino's been in the business, but it did really help establish that this guy had potential, and there's some people that think his latest films aren't as great as his old ones, but they're still fun to watch.
Well, they're great films. It's just for me, I love the aura of the film, like the settings. I love the grit feel that you have from these films, where like Django Unchained is very I want to say it's almost kind of like historical, like you're taking history and mashing it
Yeah.
to make your own story. Like the same thing with Inglorious Bastards and
Yeah, it feels it's weird because films like Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, they feel much more grounded in reality, while
yeah,
Django Unchained feel a bit more exaggerated. And I did hear this theory that the films like the more exaggerated Tarantino movies like Kill Bill and Django Unchained were basically movies within movies set within the more grounded Tarantino world.
yeah,
Yeah, like Kill Bill.
almost
Yeah,
almost like a parody or something. Like it's just
yeah. Yeah, it's like Kill Bill will be the type of fictional movies that the people in Reservoir Dogs would have gone to have seen if they survived the outcome.
mhm.
Yeah, that's a big theory of that, and a lot of people seem to get behind it as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can sort of see that happening because Tarantino's it's kind of subtle but exaggerated at the same time, and it's almost a contradiction.
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah, for me this movie for me is a 9.5 out of 10. Like it's pretty near perfect. Like it's
I know.
one of my favorite movies. I have the poster over my bed. So
Yeah, and Toxic's talking about it. Oh yeah, that theory I said. Yeah, apparently, it's Tarantino's actually said that himself. So yeah, okay.
nice.
Tarantino, you're a crazy fucker, but you are a genius too. And yeah, he's we'll go through a few chats as well. Donny Bass, it's a well-crafted film. Yes, it is. And yeah, I'm up for doing Collateral one day. Spartan, I've not seen. Heist, I've not seen. I'll have to check out Heist and I'll have to check out Red Belt as well. So yeah, we'll go through some chats. Didn't Kill Bill result from a conversation between Uma and
Oh, I'm
Kill?
sure.
Yeah. Because I think that Fox Force 5 bit of dialogue in Pulp Fiction definitely seems reminiscent of Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Like you got these sexy women. One's a knife expert, one's a demolition expert. Yeah, so I'm guessing Kill Bill probably came from the pilot that Mia Wallace starred in, but didn't do well. Like they took the idea and decided, let's make it a fucking film called Kill Bill. So I'm guessing that's the theory in that world. And Low Toxic. Oh yeah, God King is doing Collateral in June with Low Toxic. Hey, nice one, man.
Nice.
You know what? Yeah, try and see if you can get me on. You know, God King, I'd happily do it with you. I was thinking of doing Collateral with Toxic one day, and this might be a good opportunity. We'll see what happens. But yeah, just message me on Twitter if you can. If you can't, no problem. Okay. And we'll go through some more chats if we can. See if there's any I missed.
It was the chat were great tonight.
Yeah, everyone else has been fucking great, man. Been fucking beautiful bastards. The bathroom scene reminds me of when I went to Vegas for my birthday with a brick of blow and a few vials of horse tranquilizers. Fucking hell, man. Or going through airport security. Thank God it was the 90s. Allegedly. I don't know if you got caught by it, so I'll say allegedly so you don't get incriminated. Okay. Yeah. And I think Lord Toxic said there was a deleted scene that White had shot up a surprise party of cops, 2 pistols in hand, and that leads to this job for Joe. Yeah, there's a few deleted scenes, and obviously I can see why they cut out because you've already got this heavy dialogue laden film, and you don't need to overdo it.
Well, I like how he edited this movie. I think that would have just kind of thrown things off.
Yeah, he never.
Like this movie, you feel the relationship between White and Orange throughout the movie, and you feel the relationship with Blonde and Joe and Eddie, and you see how it all forms together and how they all kind of turn each other. And Mr. Pink is the only one thinking rationally, and everyone else is thinking emotionally. It's really, really well done.
I know he never over edits. He never does full on quick cuts in this film. It's mostly just one frame with the actors, one frame going, just one single shot going on for a good few minutes while the characters talk, and he just lets the actors act, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And it is almost like they have to get this one take right, otherwise they have to do another 10 minutes of this scene again.
Yeah.
I know. And I think Tarantino, he shows the violence when the intention is catharsis, but holds back other times. Yeah, it kind of defends. Plus, he's also one of the guys that makes violence in movies fucking hilarious to watch. Like,
Well, so,
same thing.
so remember, this is early 90s too. So, I mean, and he didn't really have a name yet. So I'm sure he
Yeah,
didn't have the pull like he does later on.
I know. Even being good friends with Harvey Keitel. I mean, he's still very humble. It's a very humble film. It's a very humble film, and you can really and it's also like you're watching someone show potential that he has in the future. It's the same thing with Mean Streets with Martin Scorsese or Duel with Steven Spielberg. I need to check that movie out again. That was a good one. But yeah, I think and I think that's it for now. We're just way over the 2-hour mark now, and thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining me, Gooch. You've been a fucking great guest, and it's been your
Thanks for
first
asking,
movie
man.
again. I know. Yeah,
I had a blast. I seriously did. I had a blast. I love this movie. You got a great thing going here, Northern Bastard.
Oh,
and,
thanks, man. Thanks. I hope it
yeah.
picks up more. I really do.
Yeah.
And if you have,
we've been on a couple streams together, and it's
I
well
know.
funny, you know.
Yeah, I know, because we haven't really had time to fucking talk to each other because we always have
Yeah.
other people on, and I do sometimes feel like I'm talking at people instead of with them, and yeah, and that's the one thing I need to work on a bit more when I'm in with a few people. So yeah, thanks for joining me, Gooch. And if you haven't subscribed to us, and if you haven't subscribed to his channel yet, please do so, or share amongst people and get some more subscribers for him, and get them to watch his videos and like and comment, help with the algorithm. And everyone who's been on chat, thank you. You beautiful bastards have been great. And whether you are Northern English or not, thanks for joining me. But right now, that's me done, and I'm off to whatever pub is fucking open at this time of day. You take care, man. Thank you for joining me.
No
Thank
problem.
you, everyone.